Hello and welcome to the Den of Tools.
Yeah.
Seems okay.
It's all right. It's all right. How are you all doing tonight? Just all right for us. No, it's not. It's great. Actually, it's Sunday. Thank goodness it's Sunday because we got to spend the evening with our friends because we can't leave the house.
Absolutely. Yes.
And we're going a little batty. Get it? Wuhan? Batty?
Yeah.
How's everyone doing tonight? Zaphiel's in the house. Barbecue 76. Owen's Jeep stuff. Prem Patel. Ronald Smith. Justin Dow. How you doing, brother man? Road 418. Gramute. Die's in the house. How you doing, Die? Jason Blair. Barbecue 76. I said that before. I think I'm feeling redundant here. Scott. Robert Adams. And Riley. How is everyone doing tonight?
I'm good.
I'm tired.
Yes, I'm
I
very
know
tired.
you're tired. You got terrible sleep last night.
I'm pretty sure I had like negative sleep. Like someone else got my sleep. I don't know where it went.
Ow.
But I didn't get it.
Anyway, Ronald says, okay, folks, hit the like button. Let's get this started before everyone has more fun.
That's right.
No fun for everyone. What are you doing over there?
I'm trying to watch our stream to see the comments and to like it, but then there's commercials.
Riley says he's cleaning the garage for the first time in weeks.
Yay, you should do a before and after picture. Even if you don't show it to anyone else, I guarantee you'll be super happy. You'll be like, look at everything I accomplished.
Barbecue 76 says, spent most of the day making a video and gave you a shout out. Long story short, making video is a lot of work. And someday I'll see if I can post it in a comprehensive manner. Yeah, it is. I remember when I first got started, I'm like, how do people do projects and film them? This is terrible.
Yep.
Kirk, good evening, Mr. Or good evening, Bears, he says. Jehu in the house, what's up? Rude Mopar dude.
Barbecue 76 with the $2 super chat. What is that? For the LLEH? What am I buying you this week?
I don't know. Oh, it's lights down on the lower left.
Yes. What if he's trying to silence me already? He's hiding the bell.
I'm trying to save other people.
Okay, ready?
Oh, that's what I meant to bring downstairs.
They're upstairs. I'll get them. Okay, cover your ears, daughter of Ra, and everyone else.
Is she here?
Bing, 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 bing. Thank you so much.
Oh.
I think I saw another super chat. I don't.
Javier Estrada says, "Hey guys, $2."
Yes. Thank you so much. Bing, 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 bing. Thank you. And if you're nice, I'll go get you headphones.
Di comments, I think she's saying that you should have saved the headgear for tomorrow morning. For the bull market.
For the bull market, yeah.
Inside Love, hey, says, hey, you two. It's always nice to join everyone here. Always good to see you. Joe Smith's in the house. How goes it, man? Gravis says, good evening, folks. Rex Racer says, hello from Illinois. I've been following for a few weeks, but just joined the den. Thank you for allowing me to become part of your family. Ding, ding, ding. Thank you so much for becoming a member and supporting the channel. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Bear One says, did you see my table I made in the Discord? No, I missed that somehow.
I saw somebody reference it, and I had such terrible sleep. I went to sleep, so I have not seen it. But I heard that you made a super awesome table.
It was posted this weekend. I probably haven't seen it. The Owens Jeep stuff says, started clearing a place on our land to put up a new 30 by 30 shop. Oh, that must be nice.
Awesome.
Paul says, got so bored I did the Packy one chip challenge. I don't even know what that is.
I'm wondering if it's like those. I'm
sure it isn't.
Spicy. We'll have to look it up. Joe is in the house. Michael says at the Den of Tools, hi kids, greetings from VB. Ronald Smith says, has anybody seen my 10 millimeter wrench? I got to put my samurai back together, showing something I got left. I don't know what that means.
Samurai as in Suzuki? Those are fun little trucks.
Mr. Hand says, I had Taco Bell for dinner. Now I comment from the throne.
Oh.
Well, sometimes you just have to, reboot everything.
Craig says, so what's the word on Las Vegas opening up? Must be surreal with dark casinos. We did drive down the strip once, and it was weird.
Yeah.
But to be honest, we don't go near the touristy areas much at all. Maybe for date night once every couple months or so. But I think they were saying end of July. They got to make sure they have systems in place to make sure that no one gets sick, because they can't take the negative press for someone getting sick.
And because where we are, our entire existence is based on people coming from around the globe to have a good time and not get sick.
Only one Mr. X, one Mr. Y says, I don't get a shout out. I wonder why he doesn't get a shout out. Maybe he's depressed. Maybe he doesn't want one. I'm sorry. I won't give you a shout out. Frank Landgraf says, what's up? How you doing? By the way, everyone, don't forget to type in at the Den of Tools. That way we know you're talking to us and not just chatting amongst yourselves.
I think it's because you said yo, 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 but you didn't do at the Den of Tools. So a lot of times in the beginning when we're trying not to get behind, we don't see that you made a comment. So we're not trying to not shout you out. We didn't see that you made a comment.
No, it was at the beginning. I go through and I say hi to everyone who's there, and then I started moving on with other stuff, and he showed up right after that. So
okay,
I figured it out. Sorry.
Not personal. I thought that I saw Shaka. I did.
Frank Landgraf says, "What's up?"
Hey.
That's what's up.
I love you.
I wonder what Shaka has to say today.
She says that Ryobi is the worst of the worst. Rather use Harbor Freight.
Oh, that's something new.
That is kind of a new comment.
Comment.
Shaka, I am shocked to hear that you are not a Ryobi fan. Shocked, I say. Stop stepping on my lines. Cover your ears.
Oh, I almost choked on that.
Bing, 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 bing. Happy to have you tonight, Shaka. Joe Smith is here. I don't know if you know.
Yes,
that.
I said hi to Joe Smith before.
Okay. Oh, Fred says have been sick for almost weeks. Tested for coronavirus, but it was negative, starting to get better.
Woohoo!
I am super glad you're getting better. And I am super glad that it was negative.
Sorry that you were sick.
Yes. I'm sorry. I don't know. I feel like I swallowed a frog.
Perhaps you'll die.
I don't know why. Okay, our bear is going to fall off of She Who Shall Not Be Named.
Oh my gosh.
Please rescue him. Insulin says, at the Den of Tools, good news and bad news. Good news, I don't have to leave early to go to bed.
Woohoo!
Bad news, factory is slow, so I'm off work next week, then 32-hour work weeks after that. Ouch. I am sorry. Shane Moore says, at the Den of Tools, any word when Harbor Freight is going to have the 3/8 icon recalled ratchets back in stock?
Is no a word? No is a word. So no.
No. Fred Hill says 4 weeks. Holy cheese and crackers. You have been sick for 4 weeks.
Maybe he's talking about the
No,
wrench?
because that was insulin. But no.
I was just hoping. 4 weeks. That sucks.
Yes. Where are you arguing?
You're asking why I'm arguing. How long have we been married? Forever?
Yes. And 7 days.
Oh, that's right.
Dear Falcon says, the doctor is in. Hiya. That's right.
I've been here all night.
Princess Jamie says, the Den of Tools. Hello from San Antonio. First time joining you.
San Antonio. I've always wanted to go to San Antonio. Hi, Princess Jamie. Can I change my name to Princess?
Sure.
No. I still like changing my name to Doctor. People call me Doctor.
No. Do
Dr.
not
King.
encourage him. Do not encourage him. Groovejet says, at the Den of Tools. Now then, guys.
Hey, Groovejet.
I did 2 days work in 3 weeks, and I felt every bit of it. Arg. Oh,
Oh, I've done that.
that's kind of. Hopefully, everything's okay.
I kind of did that this week a couple times.
No, you're the
no?
opposite. He did 2 days of work in 3 weeks.
Oh,
You're
sorry. I was
thinking the other way.
reversing it.
Yep.
Flipped it and reversed it.
Yep.
Only one Mr. X and one Mr. Y says that he's going back to his welding job tomorrow. That's pretty cool.
Yes. Glenn says, hello from Dallas, Texas.
More Texans in the house. It's your horns that's attracting them.
Where were we? We were somewhere, and we were behind.
We're usually somewhere whenever we're somewhere.
No, we were behind a truck. I think it was like one of the Rams. Isn't there like a Longhorn
Oh, this
edition?
was like yesterday where it had the Longhorn emblem on it.
But like it could not get in its lane.
He could not figure out which
and
lane
I'm
he
like,
wanted to
you
be
are
in.
not actually a Longhorn. Like, you're not taking up extra room. Just get in your lane. I don't know what Bear One's saying. It says, at the Den of Tools. Well, then it seems maybe somebody needs to pull it up real fast. Wink. Do you know what that means?
No.
Frank says, chomp the like button. Sawdust Devil, hello, says hi from South Arkansas. Hello. Can they? Okay, there I am.
Barbecue 76 said, what the LLEH is. What the hell? Family friendly.
Backwards.
'Cause it's backwards.
Oh, see, and I
And
say
sideways.
HE double hockey sticks. That's what, yeah. Okay.
I don't know how you do hockey sticks.
No, I did not pass the Facebook IQ test thing. No.
Oh,
No. Ken says, hello from Maryland.
Maryland.
I know, I'm
I
thinking
love
crabs. That's
I
what
think
I'm
last
thinking.
time I was in Maryland, I got a little ripped at the Renaissance Fair.
Shocked, I tell you.
It was, just not used to all the grog.
The mead. Joe Smith says,
No, he doesn't.
yes, he does.
Does he really?
Yes.
You can
I-
read it anytime.
I thought
We're
you
all
were
just
reading
waiting on you.
Now works on everyone for Joe Smith again. Finally, okay. John Clark says at the Den of Tools, howdy Bear family from Hendo. I think you mean Henderson. How is it in Henderson? Wahawk says 109 watching and only 33 likes. What the HE double hockey sticks? That's right. I remembered to like. I couldn't find the chat, but I remembered to like.
Javier says, HOA fined me for working on my truck in the garage last week. I don't understand if it's your property. You should be able to do what you want and not have rules.
Yes.
I hate HOAs.
With a passion.
With a passion. There is, at first I thought it was a stupid rumor. It had to be a stupid joke. But it's been confirmed. Several HOAs have issued eviction papers against people who are working from their homes because everyone's forced to work from the house because the HOA has a condition that says no businesses can be run from your home. It's for residential only. I would point out to anybody who tried to evict me for something like that I'm part Irish and I will go straight Belfast on your butt. Not family friendly?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, it's encouraging children to read about history.
It's encouraging them to use the internet. But I thought you were going to tell them.
Just
about
saying,
the-
Gasoline and Dawn are your friends. What? What?
Not family friendly. But yes, HOAs. I mean, my other thing is with everything going on in the world, the fact that the HOA is paying someone to
That's
be
what they gotta
wandering
worry about,
around
yeah.
to take a picture of you working on some project and you're,
Well,
because the other
it's-
thing is they don't know what you're doing with your truck. It could be that there's an oil leak. And so you're actually trying to prevent them from having a larger issue on their HOA, whatever property. Really? You're going to drop that.
I am. On your foot, probably. And Salem says, someone mentioned Samurai. I went off-roading with some people in my Jeep once, and one of the people had a Suzuki Samurai. It was a neat vehicle. I first looked at a Samurai when I bought my Jeep back in the late 80s. And I liked the Samurai, but I felt it was too small. And I was not. I mean, I was 6'2", but I was 205 pounds, and it was just a little too small for me. But I've always. I have a thing is if you follow the channel, you know I have a thing for boxy vehicles, and it's pretty boxy, and I think it's just a great little truck, and I've seen it do some amazing stuff off road, especially considering that. What the hell am I knocking over? My glasses, especially considering the size of the engine that's in them.
Yes. Jason Blair says Taco Bell is as effective as colonoscopy prep and cheaper too. And let me tell you, as someone who's had a lot of colonoscopies, it's way tastier because the prep is awful. It's gotten a lot better than like 20 years ago, but you're totally right, Jason. I agree with you.
Man, they gave me some stuff when I was 14. It was I had surgery on my kidney, and I was in the hospital for 4 days. And they doing testing and stuff, and before the surgery, and they
Not
gave
after the surgery.
not after the surgery. I was in the hospital, I think, for like a week after the surgery. But the whatchamacallit, gave me some stuff that was like it tastes just like 7-Up, just a little bitter. No, and it ruined 7-Up for me for quite some time.
And the worst part is that the stuff they used to give out, I don't think they do it anymore, was called Go Lightly, which I was like, well, at least they named it correctly. Like, no one wants to drink this. Go lightly. We are behind. I'm going to do a couple super chats before.
John Clark says howdy.
Hey.
Oh, that's one from Hendo.
Fred Hill says, what about Porter Cable Power Tools? Let me do the $1.99 super chat. I love the uneven super chatness. Thank you. Ding, 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 ding. Hang on. I feel like there might be another one that I missed.
Hold on. I got to answer the Porter Cable question.
Okay.
Porter Cable is... I'm not a fan of Porter Cable. The tools aren't bad. They're definitely DIY, pseudo-prosumer kind of level, that kind of mid-level stuff on par with Bauer and higher-end Ryobi, the lower-tier rigid stuff. My issue with them is that they're owned by Stanley Black & Decker, and Stanley Black & Decker has put all their emphasis now into Craftsman. And I do not think you're going to see much in the way of the expansion of the Porter Cable line. It seems like they're being sold as a pseudo white box solution for stores that want to carry a signature line, a name brand line, but they're not going to allow them to carry the higher end stuff. So you're seeing it in a lot of kind of lower tier stores. And I don't think they're going to be expanding the line much at all. They might do it a little bit, but not like, I mean, there's already, Craftsman just came out. There's already 3 times as many tool selections in Craftsman as there is for Porter Cable. And on top of that, the battery lines, the batteries for Porter Cable are not fantastic, and they're very expensive for what they are. Just real quick, Anthony says, my son Thomas is here watching with me. He can't wait for a shirt the Tool Bear sent him for his birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Also, speaking of birthdays, big happy birthday for our hound, Bella Hound. She's going to be 2 again. She's very sensitive about her age. I think she's going to be 6.
I know. I was trying to figure out based on our children's ages. I was like, how old is she going to be? Her birthday is tomorrow.
Riley says, just got $100 to Toro Grandstand. The guy just didn't know how to start it.
Wow.
And Terry says, hello. Still no unemployment check or stimulus checks. Same with us. We're in that kind of situation. And we're kind of for feared that no, I don't think the stuff with California is going to affect it, would it?
I don't know.
No. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Wohawk says, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, except Corona. That stuff follows you home.
Yep.
Oh, there's other things that can happen in Vegas that will follow you home, too.
Bear one.
Some of them you have to pay for like 18 years.
We are the family-friendly channel.
That's all about family.
Bear One says, hey, y'all, can you guess what's always at the best price? You don't need a coupon or a parking lot sale. That's right. The delicious, gluten-free, non-GMO like button.
Non-GMO.
Go ahead. Give it a bear-sized chomp.
Made fresh daily.
Yes.
Let's see here. Major
scroll?
weakness in the house. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, major weakness.
Oh, I realized for some reason I'm blocking your chat. You don't need any chat.
Do you see how I'm telling you, he's silencing me.
No chat for you.
He's blinding me. Whatever.
Do I even have the chat up on your side?
Oh, my goodness. No, you did not. John Clark with the $5 super chat. It says, gotta make dinner. Keep up good work and answer your text message once in a while, Bear. Called you out.
Answer my text message.
He sent you a text message. Thank you. Have a great time with dinner. Okay,
I honestly don't know where my phone is.
Yes, I will be completely honest. He does not respond to my text messages.
Well, that's on purpose.
So I'm just saying, don't take it personally. He doesn't respond to mine either sometimes.
Well, the other thing is since the whole lockdown, I don't keep my phone with me.
He keeps his phone with him to make sure, like, if something happens with the kids and we need a call from school and whatever, but they're here.
Everyone I care about is here, so.
Not that he doesn't care about you, but text messages are not high on your priority.
No, I don't think about them.
Yeah, he really doesn't, and it infuriates the living snot out of me because I will be somewhere and I will need you to respond to me and you don't. Anyways, have a great time making dinner. I would love to know what you made for dinner. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Bing, ding, ding, bing, 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 bing. I get a little bing, bing excited.
Yeah.
I got bingity bing bing excited. I feel like I missed a super chat though. Okay. So Fred Hill. Another another $1.99. He said, so stick with Bauer. And that is Fred Hill. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, usually for mid-level DIY kind of stuff, I recommend either Bauer or Cobalt. Or the high-end Ryobi stuff. Jay Who says, multitasking tonight, editing vids and listening to my daughter's table. You get 2, how about a ding?
What?
Listening on my daughter's tablet.
Sure. Jay Who for your daughter. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
And, hold on. And Major Weakness said, hey folks. I wanted to get that in there.
Halen Wolf says, woohoo! Wife goes back to work May 4th. By the way, got a 4 amp Ryobi battery.
4 amp hour Ryobi battery from Home Depot, 50% off, $59. Also, you can buy an adapter soon to use Porter cable with the new Craftsman. That's true.
Wow.
You can do that.
That's cool. Thank you so much. And congratulations on your wife going back to work. Boom, ba-da-dum, boom, 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 boom. Thank you.
And Bo Reruns tosses in $1 into the pot.
Thank you so much. Ding.
Thank you.
I feel like I missed one. Can you look down?
I don't see anything.
I might hit him with my shoe.
That's all the way down.
It's like a food, like, what?
What? John Clark?
I
Got
saw
right
it.
there? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go
Before
back.
Before that.
So you want me to scroll up is what you're saying.
I wanted you to scroll yours down. You're very mature. Okay. I
Quite
feel
mature.
like I missed someone's super chat. So if I did, please say something because I thought it was before Fred Hill. But if it wasn't before Fred Hill, then maybe.
Let me catch up on some of these comments here.
Okay.
Joe Smith and friends. So, yo, shout out to Major Weakness. Daughter Raw, present and accounted for. Glenn Stevenson says, hello from Dallas, Texas. DIY Audio Guy says, hope you are all safe. We are. Entrenched inside. Ron Smith says, same thing here in Orlando, Florida. They're talking about August opening up a horse resort. Do horses go to resorts?
Yes.
I'm on a roll here today, aren't I?
Mm-hmm.
Jacob says, keep healthy out there, Bears. Thank you very much. We are trying. Kirk says, I'm still here and still annoying. My wife hasn't disposed of my body yet.
She has been sending me messages, though. I've been giving her moral support. I'm just saying.
Bear One says, would you say that you are shocked? Nice. Pronounced like shocked. Shaka. About the negative comments from Rabbi. And let's see here. Joe Smith says, shout out to Kirk, who lives with wife Carol, who hasn't murdered him yet.
Okay, maybe we need to do these like you got to check in on like your elderly neighbor. Okay, can we hear from Johnny? Is he still? Oh, his wife may have taken him out. That's right.
That's what we need to do. Weekly check-ins. We'll have a list.
Like, have you heard? And he was drinking and he said what? Oh yes, he might be gone.
We'll have to do a like, and if somebody doesn't call in, we'll have to send them for a wellness check from the police. Yeah.
Yep.
Terry Raffizer. Rafferzetter. I can never pronounce the name. Terry. Hey, Terry.
Says, sorry, low cash low, but I love you just the same. Thank you so much for the super chat. And I really, really want to remind people that, especially right now, if you don't have it, please don't feel like you should do super chats. We love them. And obviously it goes to a great cause, but please don't donate if you.
Modest there, aren't we?
What does that mean?
It goes to a great cause.
No, it does go to like the great things we're gonna buy with it.
I know, but I just can't. I can never talk myself up like that. It goes to a great cause. Me.
Oh, it goes to the stuff.
It's going to the lights,
channel.
yes, for the channel, so we can have actual diffused lighting. We can control and stuff. I know. I've been cooped up for a long time.
You're gonna be quiet. Why don't you have a sip over there? Thank you so much.
Could you Irish that up for me?
$2 for Terry. No, you can Irish your own drinks. Ding, 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 ding. Thank you, and thank you for being here. We super appreciate you being with us tonight.
Klein Guy John is in the house. How you doing? How's life on the East Coast, man? He's in the thick of it out there. Michael says, follow up. Some good news on the job hunt project. Got some solid nibbles in my trade. We'll keep you posted. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Sorry.
I wouldn't laugh at him about that. That's mean.
Zaffiel says, Mrs. Bear, text your husband that you found a full small batch Kentucky bourbon barrels for $200 at auction, asking if you should bid. See how quickly he responds. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, you
Zaffiel, that's right. I will do that.
You should figure out who wins it, follow them out to the car, and then use the tiny hammer on them.
Family channel.
Bang, bang, Maxwell silver hammer. Yeah. It's kind of silver.
Javier Estrada, you are so right. $2 super chat. Jeff may need a wellness check soon. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh,
in
I'm
about
past
an hour.
that point.
Thank you so much, Javier. Ding, 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 ding.
By the way, Javier bought a Makita half-inch impact wrench with a 2 amp hour battery. I'm going to do some suspension work on the old Silverado. Do you recommend the 5 amp hour battery? I have the 5 amp. I have 5 or 4. I don't know where it is. It's around here somewhere. I think I've got the 4 amp hour battery. Makita has great batteries, and they last forever and a day. So if you can pick one up at a good price, I would go ahead and do it. As far as needing that for what you're going to do, probably not. Because what I found with the impacts is they're short burst kind of work. You're not running them forever and a day. It's not like running a grinder or something like that. So you'll probably won't have a problem with battery life on that. You might get a little extra oomph, especially if it's brushless, out of the 5 amp hour than you would out of a 2 amp hour. But I doubt if you'll need it.
Rex Racer with the $10 super chat. Happy to support. Thank you so much. Ding, 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 ding. Thank you. Halen Wolf says, Bear broke down and bought the Craftsman tool chest for $481. Perfect size for me. And then you moved the stupid chat window that I'm reading.
You're supposed to have them memorized before you start talking about them.
Perfect size for me. And the unicorn went back up to $700. You guys really are going to need to do a wellness check on him. He's out of pocket tonight. Halen Wolf, thank you so much.
Halen Wolf's out of pocket?
No, you were out of pocket. Ding, 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 ding.
They haven't been a pocket that can hold me.
Oh my gosh. Someone want to save me?
Steve says hello from San Mateo, California.
Hey.
One of my favorite bridges in the world. except during traffic. Kleingein says, "Sorry, did type it right. How are you guys? We're doing fine, fine." And Jacob says the stealerships are still open. Of course they are. Why would they have to close? It seems like if you have enough money, you get to stay open or go into your own gym and go and get your hair done, like the what's her name from New York and whatnot. Yeah, I know. You'd have to stay up with current events.
That would, not happening.
Owen says, "I see the next purchase is a light box. Were you able to get your new camera ordered?" Haven't ordered the camera yet. We're waiting to get paid, which happens in about a week. Mm-hmm. But we've raised enough money for that, so it seems kind of ridiculous to keep it up there because the next item's going to, obviously, it's got to be lights. We got the microphones, then we got to do lights, or get the camera, and then we got to do lights. So.
And then lights, camera, action.
Sock puppets? I don't know. What comes after that?
You're such a goober.
I am. And someone says, "I always enjoy seeing the head where the Mrs. wears." Yeah, I'm always wondering what's going on.
Eleanor tried to have me wear one this evening that Jeff and I both swear is a cow, but she was saying it was a snow leopard, and I'm like, I don't. It
was cat shaped. It was cow print, but cat shaped.
But I like the.
And I like snow leopards. They got poofy tails.
Yeah.
Justin Dow in the house saying, "What's up, Bear family? Not much.
Hey.
How's your weekend going?" And Steven's here. How you doing, man? TJ's Woodworking Shop. Hey, brother from another mother. How goes it? And Bear One says, "I mean the Discord, you goose, directly correlating to my previous comments." Ah.
Oh, right. We're both. I literally had the worst night's sleep ever. Stop stepping on
it was not You've had worse than that. Like none.
Okay, well, I have had some nights where there was no sleep, but I would say, barring a child being ill, because when one of the kids is ill, then I generally stay up with them all night. It was bad.
B.D. Cooper says, "Just got done with one of those freebie games they give you on the PS4. Must say that Journey game is very emotional and gets you near the end." I don't remember that one. Don't ever play Brothers. That's a sad.
Oh, yeah.
Sad game.
Yeah. That's terrible. I'm pretty sure Disney may have invented that one.
Did we mention that Fred Hill said that Thunderbirds were flying here in north of Denver?
No.
Because was he the one who was talking about Porter Cable? Because he made a Porter Cable comment.
I don't know.
So I think I answered that, which basically is I would pass on the Porter Cable. I would go Ryobi or higher end Ryobi, not rigid, Cobalt or Bauer. Let's see here. Zaffiel says getting blitzed at the Renaissance Festival can be expensive.
Yes. Have you been to Vegas? It's crazy.
No, I was talking about in Maryland.
Yes, I know.
I don't remember it being that expensive. I don't remember much of it.
Yeah, I was going to say. Javier Estrada with the $2 super chat. It says, "What happened to Agent Deep Freight?"
Agent Deep Freight.
Ding, 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 ding.
He's working from home, and as such, hard to get a lot of information. Steven says, "Having hearing so many issues with HOAs, daughter of Raw and I will never deal with one. I will do everything in my power not to deal with one. She knows how much I despise HOAs.
I hate them. I hate them because they tell you what to do, and like somebody said, it's your property. Like,
yeah. If I want to have a truck on blocks in my front yard with some appliances next to it, you don't like it, move."
Yep. Make your own planter beds.
Yeah. Barbecue 76 says, "After working all day on vid, I'm going to make." Oh wait, hold on, I gotta move this thing. Where'd it go?
I don't know.
I'm going to make one right now. It will sum up my whole day's work. Be right back. Yeah, my whole day's work. I've been working on building DIY versions of long-distance paper hole punchers. In fact, fiasco. with Wolf slides. And actually, it was before I did the video. Mm-hmm. And I'd commented in the other channel, the Bears Den. We were doing a live stream, and I just commented about how I was frustrated about that. And one of the members reached out to me and said, hey, can I send you some stuff? And he sent me 2 slides. I'm trying to find the other slide. 2 slides, including one with an RMR cut, as well as some other stuff. I just blown away by the generosity. And this was my first build, working on that. And now, because this is a Gen 4 and the frames are only set up for Gen 3, I'm doing a little modification to see if we can make a Gen 3 take a Gen 4. It's not pretty, I'll be honest. It's a first run. We'll see how it actually works. Questions, comments, statements of fact or fiction?
I'm reading around. What is this?
That's the punch set.
Okay.
Do you want me to move it?
Where are you going to move it?
Somewhere out of your way?
Yes, sounds fantastic.
I was using the Tecton punch set. I guess I should put the last one back.
Before you lose
2. That one goes there. This thing is fabulous, by the way. Thank you, Tecton.
We Are Human said, did you hear about the guy who shot the camera on YouTube? I think there's been a few people that have done that.
I don't know anybody who's actually shot the camera. I know people who've done
negligent discharging to their bodies,
walls and whatnot.
Have you shown them the?
I just showed them the first one. The second one we're still working on. It's in pieces. Oh, and Olight was kind enough to send me. I don't know if I'm supposed to show this just yet, but I'll show you
maybe
this side so you can't see what model it is. But
very bright.
Very bright. Fred Hill says HOAs are worthless. I totally agree. Barbecue 76 says, that's one I already read. Mike M says, howdy y'all, listening in while putting my toys tools up. I'm building a fastener storage cabinet. Oh, that's a good idea. And Sam says, I also love boxy vehicles. What Jeep do you have? I have a Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. I don't. We have a Jeep. We have the wife drives a 2015 Jeep Renegade Trailhawk, and our neighbors up in Montana just gave us a late 90s. I think it's a 96. I think it's a Jeep Grand Cherokee. I haven't seen it in a while. The first Jeep I owned was a 84 CJ7.
Oh my gosh, still the CJ7.
Love the CJ7s. But I also like the Wranglers. Not the Wranglers, the Cherokees, I mean. And the Jeepsters. Jeep Commandos and the Jeepsters, those are fabulous.
Brad's Workbench is here.
Brad's Workbench.
Hello. And welcome.
Mr. Brad, how you doing? How are you and the family and the girls doing? Sawdust Devil says, love the devil horns. Would you be my mascot? No, she's all mine. And let's see here. Sorry, I got to scroll up there. Princess Jamie says, I currently drive CJs. Yes. CJs for the win. I don't like the CJ5s. They're too small. I like the little added stretch from the CJ7. And what I really wanted when I got the CJ7 was I wanted a scrambler, which is what I like about the Unlimiteds. It's kind of scrambler-esque.
Justin Dow says, oh no, not the Renegade. Yeah, I know. It's okay, Justin.
It is, a lot of people give it, grief about, well, it's not a real Jeep. It's pretty handy off-road. We've taken it up through some trails and stuff in Montana, and it eats everything you put it through, and it just keeps going. That Trailhawk active four-wheel drive control, man, it's insane. It's not like super powerful and whatnot. It's like driving a go-kart, but she loves it.
Yep. I actually talked to some other Renegade people today. socially distancing by like 15 feet. So we're all good. Brad's Workbench says, how do you like all the excessive Harbor Freight hate due to China lately? I'm going to answer that and just say, you know what? People are going to find anything to hate about. They're going to hate about the flavor of jelly in their sandwich. They're going to hate about the fact that it's too sunny for them. They're going to hate about the fact that they have too much money. That's my 2 cents.
I say good luck finding somebody who sells power tools that are made somewhere else. Jason says, Mrs. Bear, I will only say that I try to repress my memories of Go Lightly. They mixed Gatorade in and it was awful.
Yes, they do. And they're like, oh, just drink it cold. It'll make it better. No, it doesn't. It's disgusting.
Just chug it and get it over with.
Yeah.
Condiment Studios says, howdy. Do you mind? Can I?
Well, I was trying to
I'm
talk
talking
to Jason.
here. No, you weren't.
We were having a
conversation. We were not
conversation.
talking.
It says Mrs. Bear. Are you Mrs. Bear?
Well, you'd already had your statement.
No.
You said what you were going to say.
This is what I have to work with.
I'm going to get out the big hammer.
Give this to me. Jason, I totally agree. That stuff is disgusting. And I literally called the GI office and said, can we just do an NG tube? Like, can you guys just bypass me having to drink it? And they said no. So, yeah. Carry on.
I'm just figuring out which one of these ways are. This is the one I bought a long time ago. And this is the one I just picked up recently because it got some really good reviews. And I got to say, I rather like it. I thought it would be too small. What do you think?
What?
You like to hit people. What do you think?
Well, I'll be honest. I like the longer handle. It feels better in my hand.
Okay.
Here you go.
Thank you much.
You're welcome.
Asylum says, I get to see my brother next week. Woohoo! I'm excited about it, but sad for him because he broke up with his girlfriend and she's kicked him out, so he has to move here from out of state. That sucks.
You know what, though? It just means that is not where he needed to be and that he has an opportunity to
allow someone else to deal with her craziness.
Right. And also, I'm a big fan of don't stay with somebody for all the wrong reasons. It's better to be single or whatever for all the right reasons.
Or find your Mrs. DeBear because she's pretty awesome.
Oh, thank you, baby.
She's out there somewhere for you. For him.
Yeah. But it's true. Like, if you stay with somebody or in a situation that's not good, you are robbing yourself of finding somebody who is totally worthy of you. So,
Bo Rerun says, howdy. Asylum says, so springtime coming. I've been considering getting a battery-powered lawn equipment, lawnmower and weed whacker. What do you recommend? My lawn is kind of big.
Joe.
That's a good question. Well, I would say talk to Joe, who was our resident lawn care expert, but I don't know how much experience he has with battery-powered stuff. It's a hard one to say because there's so many different ways to play that. I had a Craftsman, one of the first battery-powered Craftsman lawnmowers, and I loved it, but I wouldn't recommend buying one now. Not because they're bad, but just there's so many other options. Ryobi is great for a budget one. Ego is great for some higher end stuff. Cobalt makes some excellent stuff as well. Harbor Freight has their new line, which is basically similar to Greenworks, so you can also go with Greenworks. I don't know. Why don't everyone else chime in? Currently, as far as weed whackers, I've got the Cobalt weed whacker 20 volt, which is decent. And I've got the, the Hart, the new Hart 40 volt.
What about that company?
Lethelli?
Yeah.
They didn't send me a weed whacker.
Oh, okay.
And sorry, but I wouldn't recommend buying from them because there's such a limited lineup. I would if I'm going to invest in a battery lamp support, I'd like to have a wider selection.
Justin Dow says, Mrs. DeBear runs the show at the Den of Tools. Best recognized, sir. I'm just saying. I didn't say it.
Oh, yeah. I know what happens to me if I get too far out of line.
He knows.
I go hungry. I have to sleep outside.
No, your tummy will be full of poisoned food.
You wouldn't even make the dog sleep outside, but you'd kick my butt outside in a heartbeat.
Yep.
Grimute says, sorry, not saying much, but listening. Hey, Grimute, how are you doing?
Hey, Grimute.
Bo Rerun says, what's your opinion on Skill electric drill tools? The new ones that are made by Shervon. I don't have any, but I've talked to several people who have them. I've seen some breakdowns on them. I like Shervon. They make some great tools. They make the Cobalt stuff that's really good. They make the new Craftsman 20-volt stuff that's really good. That's stuff that's sold at Sears, not the Stanley Black & Decker stuff. That's, of course, made by Stanley Black & Decker. I think they're great middle-of-the-road kind of tools. I don't know how big a lineup they're going to have, but they seem like they're nice. They're well made. Mustang Guru says, still working work for major phone company, keeping people communicating, able to repair, and fiber splicer. I remember learning how to splice fiber. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
BD Cooper says, happy birthday to your dog. Bella is super loved. Thank you for saying happy birthday.
We should bring her out here and have her say hi.
Oh my, she has been on like crack the last week and a half.
She's been insane.
Good luck.
I think she's excited that people are always home.
She's like, it's crazy. You guys are here with me every day. We could like nap together and I can roll on my back and show you my tummy some more. And we should go have snacks. Yeah. That's basically what happens.
And rub my ear.
Yeah.
Steven says, I have a plug-in Hyper Tough weed whacker and an old plug-in Toro leaf blower I got from a garage sale for $7. Both work good. That's a good buy. $7. Grimmute's driving. That explains it. Justin Dust says, got mine, put it all in the market. Did you really? Good for you, man.
Cool.
There's a lot of great sale prices going on right now.
Yep.
Simon says, Bauer, I helped make a control panel for an air blast chamber for Bauer at work. Really? And Ronald Smith says, an HOA trying to find me for using a solar dryer. I'm like a man, it by Ronald Reagan passed the law stating the Energy Act. For what's a solar dryer?
I don't know.
I don't know what a solar oven is.
Well, I was thinking like a just on a line. What do you call that? Line drying.
Fred Hill says, I heard the strip lights are still turning off and on. Last I saw, most of them are still on.
Like the casinos?
Yeah, like the outside.
Yeah.
They're not running all the big billboards.
Obviously, because no one's going to see them.
Yeah. But the lights lighting up the buildings themselves are on. Jehu says, why are people driving like idiots on highway? It's empty.
That's why.
Yeah.
Joe Smith says, solar dryer, ... clothesline. That was my thought.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking, but I could be totally wrong.
Scott says, Jeff, just wondering if I sent email to the right address about the... You did, Scott. I'm sorry. I have been literally... My whole desk is covered with little pieces of plastic as I've been...
He's been working on projects.
Working on these P80s all day. And I'm trying to modify this other one to turn it into a Gen 4, which it's not designed for, without breaking it, which I'm very close to doing.
Yep. Terry said, LOL, it's Bear MMA in a minute. That's right.
I will say this, Scott, I'm wondering why they got rid of the side panels. I realize you can save a few cents or something, but... And I guess, to be fair, the enclosure itself was really never about structure and or sawdust handling. But it had to be some. Anyway. Mustang Guru, howdy from Tennessee. Bo Rerun says, what's your opinion? Oh, we just talked about that. Tony Ringtail. Tony's in the house. Damn raccoons, they got in here again. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Bear, hope all's well. Any plans to reopen yet? Florida's going insane here, but at least the beaches are open again. It's Nevada. The desert is always open.
Yeah. John Clark is making chicken stir fry. That sounds delicious.
Thank
you so much for following up and letting me know what you guys are eating. I know it's such a silly little thing, but it just really tickles me to know what you guys are having for dinner. I made a ham and bacon jam mac and cheese earlier today, which I forgot to take a picture of and post. Oops.
Riley says, what do you think about the Harbor Freight mower lift? Thinking of ordering one. I've never used it. If it's based on all the other jacks and stuff from Harbor Freight, it's probably decent. I have the lifting table, so for anything I needed like that, I always just use the lifting table. Jeremy says, what have I missed? Said hi, then had to finish something. Oh, there's so much, man. We gave away cash and prizes and a Labradog or two.
Dancing ladies.
Yeah. And Borean, by the way, just so everyone knows, we do get behind, but I do eventually read everything where it's either a super chat or somebody has typed in at the Den of Tools. So if you type in at Den of Tools, it shows up as a big orange blurb. I will get to it. So don't repeat it because it just confuses me and then I get all lost and it makes me take longer.
And just so you know, it will not show up as a big orange blurb to you. It shows up that way to us.
Yes.
And what is that next to Fred Hills? Is that a cat?
It looks like a cat in a box and it says shelter in.
Oh.
I thought maybe he was doing a Schrodering kind of thing there. Logan's Creations, what's your experience with drill bits that have countersink built in? I heard Harbor Freight sells them. Are they any good? I've never used the ones from Harbor Freight. I'm not a fan of built-in countersinks. I like to do the countersink separately myself because I'm old school like that. I could probably be entirely wrong in doing that, and maybe I'm missing out on something fabulous, but I would just as soon just pull out, the countersink that I want to use and go to town with that. I don't know. Let me know. Am I being, not obtuse? What am I trying to say?
I have no idea.
Resistant to change.
A Luddite.
Yeah, that too. Locust Creek. Oh, we just read that. Oh, Justin Dow says, I don't have anything to donate tonight except this. Go pick up 2550 shares of Boeing and hold it as long as you can stomach it. You'll be surprised at your return on investment. That's for sure. They're not going to allow Boeing to fail. They're going to bounce back after that, and they're so cheap. That and some of the cruise lines, man. You can't go wrong with that.
Yes.
Alan says, I love your videos. Is Harbor Freight getting any shipments delivered? Yeah, they're getting lots of stuff. Everyone's getting stuff right now. There was not much of a... Everyone's like, oh, there's going to be this huge... Everyone's going to run out of stock. Did anybody know people running out of stock? I mean, other than people running in the store buying all the toilet paper. But then that stuff was in stock a few days later. They'd buy it again. Then it would come back and they'd buy it again. They're getting to the point where they're stopping buying toilet paper. But Zaffiel says, Mrs. Bear, text your husband. Oh, yeah. And Jody says, Louisiana here. Fred Hill says, our broomstick stores are open in Colorado, but ranges are closed. Is Michigan's Gover the biggest? Oh, yes.
Yep, I've stopped even paying attention because it's just crazy.
That woman has jumped the shark. She has basically done everything that people said that authoritarian government would try to do, and she's doing it, and she's pleased as punch about it.
Diz, honey, you had sour gummy worms for supper. Someone go over to her house. Bring her some bacon or some chicken.
You and Eleanor would be best friends.
Yeah. Jennifer White Wolf had bacon with something. She doesn't know yet. Maybe bacon beef burger. A bunch of people were having grilled chicken with barbecue sauce, grilled pork chops with barbecue sauce. Somebody had keto soup, and I don't know what that is. I Googled it. I mean, my guess is it's just a soup that you have somehow made keto, but I did not find a specific recipe, so I would love to know more. You said your wife made keto soup. Everyone's discussing that they love grilled chicken. It's delicious. Sawdust Devil, $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Bing, 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 bing. Thank you.
Riley says there is a Tiger King update on Hulu.
I had heard that. I have not watched it yet.
Nothing to do with that.
What? I just want to give him a hug. Carol Baskin.
Off-Road Edge says, so bashful. I am. I'm very bashful. And Bo says, placed an order with Harbor Freight on April 1st and it's still pending. Anyone else having problems? I guess if you're talking about shipping in that case, everyone's having issues with shippings. Every single company that ships is having issues with shipping because everyone is having stuff shipped. It's worse than Christmas.
Yeah. Yes. Halen Wolf had Taco Bell, just like a number of people.
I want Taco. No, I don't want Taco Bell.
I actually kind of do want Taco Bell. It's okay. I have a problem. Taco salad for BS Small Engines.
I want. You know what I want? I want.
Jennifer White Wolf says bacon time. Okay, I love all the little piggy icons.
I want Uno's.
Okay, that's you. You have problems.
You liked it. No, you don't. You
No.
like taking the kids there, but you'd always get some salad or something.
Yeah.
Joe Smith and Friends says, prayers to the Nova Scotia shooting victims. Our friend, for I am camper. This guy's garage used to live in that town. He's safe. We've been emailing.
Wait, what?
Apparently, I missed the news.
Wait, what just happened?
He said people we know used to live there, and there was a shooting in Nova Scotia.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I saw that right before we went on, and yes, 9 people.
That's sad.
Apparently the number's gone up. Yes, I could not believe it.
Well, we'll take a moment for prayers for them.
Yep.
Anyway, so moving on. I'm glad that he's safe, and but still, that's a terrible tragedy. Bear One says, "Is Mrs. DeBear trying to be like Mr. Rogers with the cardigan?"
I have a cardigan problem. I love cardigans.
Ever since I met her, she's been into cardigans.
Yep.
It'd be 90 degrees out. She's wearing a cardigan, complaining that it's hot.
Well, it is hot.
Princess Jamie says, since the military's on minimal manning, I'm quarantined with my Jeep and building all my Jeep projects in the kitchen. Well, that's pretty awesome.
Is that so you can avoid the HOA? Trying to find you while you're making Jeep progress?
I can tell you, I am really looking forward to getting back to our place in Montana and doing some work on that Jeep. Mm-hmm. I love working on Jeeps.
Yeah.
The older, the better. I don't like working on the new stuff. Did
you see that our other neighbors emailed us?
No.
See, I sent him emails. Yes, they emailed us today.
Are they going to give us their house? Because that'd be sweet.
No, they're just checking in on us. And
that's nice.
Just wanted to know when we would be there.
We're talking about it right now as New York is looking to pass its apex there and hopefully flattening the curve. We're discussing about when we're going to make the commute, the migration, if you will.
Yep.
Just now, Jeff is feeling good.
Yeah.
He's
lost his mind.
Fine
basically.
And frisky.
You've lost your mind.
He's a Jeep guy too. We should just turn this into the Jeep channel. What do you say?
Not everyone likes Jeeps, but I like Jeeps.
Everyone likes Jeeps.
Oh my goodness.
Don't be such a communist.
Oh my goodness.
Frank says, I'm thinking about 12 volt cordless for DIY. What do you recommend? Oh, for DIY 12 volt. That's a good question. I mean, the best 12 volt in the business is definitely Milwaukee, but those batteries are stupid expensive. It's like $50 for a 2 amp hour battery. But who else makes a decent 12 volt? Bauer doesn't have one. Cobalt doesn't have one. Ryobi, no. I mean, Rigid makes a 12 volt system. But I gotta be honest, I'm not a fan of the Rigid. I had the Rigid 12 volt system. It was fine. I don't like the form factor. I don't think it's very expansive either. Who else makes Makita makes a 12 volt system, but you're gonna be close in price on the to the Milwaukee on that. I know DeWalt has come out with their new 12 volt stuff, so maybe there's that. I don't know. Can anybody recommend a DIY level 12 volt system?
Tonight,
maybe I'm just spacing it.
Is Rodney's birthday.
Happy birthday, Mr. Rodney.
He is 21 with a little bit of experience. He says officially an old fart. Happy birthday. Bella's birthday is tomorrow.
I feel like there was a 12 volt system that I should be thinking of. I think Skill's got a 12 volt system. The new Skill. but I don't know how extensive it is. Because they launched that first. But I remember looking at it and thinking that's a decent little system. I've never tried it, but it looks decent. Jehu says, where is the toaster? Should make hot dogs rolled in croissant dough. Oh, that sounds delicious. Anything
We
in
have
croissant dough is
biscuit
delicious.
Dough.
Croissant dough. Crescent dough.
Croissant.
Have you ever had, what are the cronuts? Which are donuts made with crescent, like flaky crescent roll kind of stuff. Those are fabulous.
They're not keto. So if you're keto, stay away from them.
They are on Tuesdays.
Okay. What? They're not on
Bart
Tuesdays.
Foster wins the contest tonight. He gets the reference for the put your foot on it and stand. It's the 13th Warrior.
Yes.
In fact, I was going to do this. Hold on. Oh, go ahead. I don't know why I'm telling you to hold.
Barbecue 76 says, looks like clockwork. The whole house suddenly needs something after leaving me alone all day.
Yeah.
Gee, damn. I'll be right back. At least I hope to be. Barbecue 76, stay safe. Don't strangle anyone. I don't think we have bail money.
Bill Van says San Mateo Bridge Raceway. It could be like that. Fred Hill says, I can't wait for Bauer to come out with their 5 and 8 ampere hour batteries. Yes. Off-Road Edge says you can't go to church, but you can go to Walmart and stand in line.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you hear that?
What?
Some church, they blocked them from going to church, so they all went to Walmart. Had church in Walmart.
I did not hear that. But I do have to say, the thing that really irritates me is when you are at the store for your essential whatever, and there is inevitably that one person that is all up in your rear end. I'm like, that is not 6 feet. Back up. And then I leave a generous amount in the front, especially when they're doing the, what is that called? Like the belt where all of the products go. Like sometimes they clean them. Right, when they're checking out. So I let them be there because they're going to need to move around, whatever. They need that extra space. So I stand there because the other thing is
being polite.
Right. Well, and also some places really are super on top of it, and they will yell at you for proceeding too soon. So my thought is, it's not like it's going to, if I give them an extra 4 feet, it's not going to change things. I'm not going to get out of here
They
any
might
faster.
miss out. You don't know.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, people do get a little crazy about this sort of thing.
I'm like, get away from me.
The Michael says, care to guess how easy it is to fake one of those letters that say you're an important worker? I'm self-employed. I don't have to fake it. I can write it for myself. Fred says, Michigan's governor has to be the biggest jerk. Have you met Nancy Pelosi? Allie says, hello from McKinney, Texas. We got more Texans in the house. And the We Are Human says, would you build a $200,000 house in an HOA housing area? I wouldn't. I know. I see YouTube guys do it. No, not in a million years. I would not. The only time I would invest in an HOA area is if it was a rental, and because you can then kind of you can blame stuff on the HOA with your tenants. Like, I'm sorry, you got to change this. The HOA said something, blah blah, and then you can make them the bad guy and make them kind of deal with stuff. And it's a great. I know a lot of landlords who use that as a kind of a pseudo property manager. Anyway, it's 7:00. So it's time to adopt a mod where you too, can own your very own moderator. All you have to do is choose one of our moderators at random, or pick the one with a favorite name or comment of the evening. All the moderators are people whose names are in blue with a wrench behind their name. They are gracious enough to to help out with this channel and be moderators here. And what they do is they help keep the channel family friendly. They answer questions that maybe I can't get to, or remind me about stuff that maybe I'm missing. They just basically help things run smoother by being part of the community here. And we really appreciate them, and I hope you do too. So if you like the Sunday Night Tool Talk live here, what you can do now is go and pick one of them and go over to their channel, because they're almost all creators as well. So go over to their channel and find one of their videos, give it a thumbs up, consider liking and subscribing, maybe leave a comment. It's a great way, to support the online video creator community at large, which, by the way, as people have mentioned, we may make it look easy. It's a real pain in the, to do a project and do a video of it at the same time. So they put a lot of work into this. So go out and support them, make them feel good about the stuff they do, and maybe they can grow their community as well. Also, big shout out and thank you to everyone who's donated. Again, this week's target is it's over here. It's the lights system. I think we've raised enough money now for the camera. We're going to be ordering that probably next week. And then the light system, so we can have even diffuse lighting that doesn't give us a sunburn.
I have to say, when we first started doing this, the lights were so bright, and now I think I'm like used to being blinded, because right now,
it's really bright.
bright.
And everyone who's a member, and that's the people with the little bear behind their name, like Javier Estrada, Paul St. Marie, Zaphiel, Terry, and others. And they are members. It's kind of like Patreon, but instead of going off to another channel, YouTube's integrated that now into it. So if you go to the main page for our channel, there's a thing there you can join if you're interested. But we want to say thank you very much for the people who support us on a monthly basis. You guys are amazing. Awesome. And have I forgotten anybody? Left anyone out?
Daughter of Ra with the new content.
Daughter Rod does have the best no content in all of YouTube. We're trying to get her up to 100 subscribers. Yeah. And let's see here. Who else? And a big shout out to Will, who donated the Pew Pew stuff. That was really nice. And I'm having a fun time this weekend. I've been working. It's been pretty much most of the day out here with the youngest cub. And I've been teaching him how to do some smithing.
Yeah, he was super thrilled. He's always really excited to work with you on projects.
The other two, not so much these days.
Yeah, I think he's also still, well, they're all different, but he really likes to be useful. How can I help? What can I do? I can carry that. I know it weighs the same as me, but I'm going to pick it up and carry it. And he can.
He's like an ant.
Yes.
Anyway, let's jump back into it here. Javier says, at my old home, I had a Honda Accord that was always on jacks and an oil stain under it. No HOA. The house we had in California, we bought right after the housing crash, and that subdivision did have an HOA prior to the housing crash, at which point it went bankrupt and went out of business, which is why we bought there and not one town over that had all HOAs. And we were like, screw that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And we had the greatest neighbors.
We did. And in fact, they were just posting the other day saying that Newman missed us. And we're like, we miss Newman. Yeah. Don't miss California, but if you could take Newman, pop it out, put it in Montana, that'd be great.
Yeah. It was such a special group of friends and family.
Some more special than others.
I'm sitting right here.
Michael says, I would not live where an HOA would have me. The Snowballs, that's it. Snowballs 1385 says, so much disrespect for Rigid. They are higher quality than Ryobi, Cobalt, and Bauer. I know that Justin Dow would agree with you. And if you check the channel back in the day, I had a bunch of Rigid stuff. So I'm very familiar with Rigid. And I would not say that they're higher quality than the upper end Ryobi. When I talk about that, there's basically two tiers to Ryobi. The higher end Ryobi stuff is every bit as good as the Rigid stuff. The Cobalt stuff I think is as good as is some of the Bauer stuff. The lower end, the because there's also two tiers to Rigid. And they have the basic brush stuff and the brushless stuff, and the brushless stuff is a whole nother step beyond it. The big issue for me with Rigid is that when you get to that higher end stuff, the cost is to the point where you might as well buy something like Milwaukee. Also, the batteries are not of the quality of Milwaukee at that point, and their lifetime service agreement that they tout so much, they are well known, and I've done quite a bit of research, which is the reason we stopped talking about them on this channel, is because they bend over backwards to weasel their way out of it. I do think they make excellent tools.
Ed, the old tech guy, is here. I know he's been here for a while, and I kept meaning to say hello and welcome, and I'm glad that you're here, and I hope that you are doing well.
Terry says, focus or I'm drunk. Are we out of focus? I had autofocus turned off.
I have no idea.
It is turned off. Because the autofocus on this camera will jump in and out sometimes. It's real
Joe
twitchy.
Smith is telling people that if they subscribe to Daughter of Ra, that she's going to scrub their floors. I think Daughter of Ra might have a contract out on Joe right now. That would be a negative to everyone that's confused. Not happening.
Let's see if I can do this for you. Because I know I keep
talking. Because you just are trying to make my life difficult.
I'm trying to make it easier. So the problem is I moved the chat window over so that I could look at the chat. Wow. Oh, I bet I can. I wonder if I can pop it out also. Because we keep two chat windows going. So because I get so far behind trying to answer all the questions, and she answers the newer stuff. And so I was trying to put my chat window closer behind the camera so it doesn't look like I'm just looking off the right field. Left field, right field. I don't know what it looks like for you. Anyway. And in so doing, I now moved everything and I've screwed up where I was.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try and catch up, but as I said, I just moved it, and it, of course, reverted to top chat rather than live chat. So if I don't read your comment, please repost it. I'm really sorry. Anyway,
why don't?
Grimute says, home now, waited all day to see if this guy was going to show to buy the coach. Think we got catfished. I saw your comment the other day. I'm really sorry about that. I've definitely been in that situation where I've had something torn apart. Suddenly somebody comes out of the woodwork, says they want to buy it, and I scramble to put it back together.
Don't read out loud. Eric, $3.99 super chat. We aren't seeing enough of these tonight. Thank you. That was super sweet. And we appreciate all of the super chats that go towards lighting. So it's nice to see you as well. I don't think I saw you earlier. So welcome. Bing, 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 bing. Anywhoza.
Does the TOS, sorry, Zaphiel, does the TOS, what? Does the TOS state that explicitly? That you can't do that in a live stream? I didn't know.
Yeah, we're special. Princess Jamie is saying that she doesn't work on planes anymore, but she has plane stuff and Jeep stuff on her channel.
Oh, that's cool. Is the channel Princess Jamie?
I think I looked at it yesterday.
Anyway, let me catch up with the rest of these. Fred Hill says, gotta take my meds, wear sunglasses.
That's right. You should always wear sunglasses.
Yes.
You should always be protected.
Frank says the Bears sound great. Groovejet says a dual set of 10.8 DeWalt drill drivers and impacts would be a good choice for DIY, but not for the money. Why would you buy anything else? They'll last DIY forever and they'll do the job. Lee says, why did it jump on me like that? Where'd it go? I enjoy your videos a lot. My daughter loves the Tool Bear. She is glued to the PC when she hears your voice. That's awesome. I always love hearing stories like that.
Will H.
Will H in the house.
Says, ring away. You know you want to. Ding, 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 ding. Thank you for the $10 super chat. And you know that I like to ring away. Daughter Frost probably going to light me on fire. Sorry.
And the old tech guy claims that he is not a bot, but we know otherwise. The Cletus says, what is your favorite project you have ever made?
Our
A
children.
house. Nice.
I'm crafty. I made children.
Um,
I grew them myself.
I'm trying to think. I'm terrible about on the spot kind of stuff like that. I just go blank.
He'll think about it, and if he will probably have a thought in a little bit.
Let's see here. I think my favorite one recently was refinishing that radio box for you.
Mm-hmm.
I also I've done a lot of hack kind of stuff, electronics, DIY, built 3D printers, that kind of stuff. Building the house, houses.
Yeah. Like projects.
Yeah.
Rodney, no, we don't really need a bell because he says when the Mrs. DeBear always ding, 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 dings. Yes, that is true.
PT says, I like my 24-volt rigid set, and they've been great about whatever I need, including 3 replacement sets of batteries over the years. 24-volt. Ed, the old tech guy, says, thank you for the well wishes and concerns. Love you guys. And
We're almost caught up.
Michael Chesney says, after November, perhaps you can get a lightly used teleprompter from the Biden campaign.
Nice.
Jeff has glasses. Yay. I also have glasses. My eyes really suck. I do have glasses.
Yep.
I have the reading goggles.
Yep.
Joe Smith says, Jamie has a channel? I think everyone around here has a channel.
Everyone does.
Riley says, the corona's put a toll on us. We're supposed to be done with a friend's project house this summer, but it doesn't look like that will work.
Oh,
that sucks.
Harsh.
Jamie says that she's going to be going live tomorrow at 6 for those who are interested. Mind you, I have a horrible streaming setup. Now, here's the question. 6 a.m. or 6 p.m.? I ask because we're going to be going live at 6:30 a.m.
Yes.
On the other channel.
My guess is that
Bears
most
Den.
people that aren't completely out of their minds do it in the PM.
Probably. And did we say hi to hipsters and hippies before?
Hey.
Jehu, Ed the Old Tech Guy's bot is named ETOTG.
That's right.
Eric says, one of my favorite projects was I completely rebuilt a 73 T-Rex all-terrain forklift. That sounds pretty cool.
Joe Smith is also clarifying if it's AM or PM and what time zone for Jamie.
I really liked that, whatchamacallit, that rolling tool rack I made. That was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that was super cool. And did we make that from scratch or did we do that from the thing that we...
From the
that
school.
was from the school. Yeah. 6 p.m. Central is what Jamie is saying. Ed the Old Tech Guy is saying, hey, hit the like button.
How many likes versus watching now? Everybody hit the like button. Support the channel. If we get 300 likes, the bear may get a new shirt. If we get 300 likes, the missus probably won't make me sleep outside.
Don't be getting all crazy now.
And Silem says, I wasn't able to make it last week except for like 3 minutes. Did you guys have a good Easter? We did. We got to have fun with the kids, and we probably ate too much chocolate.
I didn't get any chocolate. By the time I thought about eating chocolate, it had all been inhaled.
Yep. Or thrown away. She gets so angry about people throwing away chocolate. It was when we were first dating. We were in a car doing a road trip through, I think, Gold Country, wasn't it?
No, we were not dating. I know where you're going with the story, and we were not. I mean, we were dating, but it was not like we just first were dating.
Have we been together for a while or something?
I was pregnant with Eleanor, and I will never forgive you. Carry on with your story.
We were on a road trip through Gold Country, I believe, and we stopped to get some snacks, and you got M&Ms, right?
Yep.
And then you said something about how you shouldn't be eating them.
No, I
Yes.
don't remember it that way.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
And so I grabbed them and threw them out the window. She's still angry.
Eleanor's 10.
Like anytime I bring it up, she still gets angry. She's
I
angry
am
right now.
so mad. Yep. So there's a little tip for everyone. Do not throw my chocolate out the window. I will never forgive you.
And the reason I bring this up is Duncan, the oldest, ate a good portion of his candy, like I'd say about a third of it, and then threw the rest of it away because he didn't want it around to get fat off of. And she found out. And she was irate because she wanted it.
Just the chocolate.
I love you, dear. You're adorable.
Hipsters and Hippies says he does not recommend inhaling chocolate. The Surgeon General has some warnings about such things. You know, I've never actually looked on the back of the M&Ms to see if there's like instructions on how you're supposed to eat them. Like, you know, like sunflower seeds, it has instructions.
No, I did not know that sunflower seeds came with instructions.
Yeah, and it has to be written for like the person with the lowest IQ.
Yeah,
that
I
could
hate writing
ever
instructions.
Find them. Wahawk says you throw away Brussels sprouts, but never chocolate. I am still mad at him, Wahawk. This is craziness. What kind of monster throws chocolate out the window?
It was just M&Ms. Wasn't like it was good chocolate. Okay, moving on. Can you describe the lights for us? I missed it. Yes, there is a very high-res picture in the lower corner of your screen, but essentially it's a tripod-like stand that goes up to a panel that's about it's about a foot across. It's like 16 by 12, and it's an LED panel. And you can adjust the brightness and stuff. And then the flaps on either side, they're called barn doors, and they allow you to essentially focus the light, keep the light from spilling out the sides, to put a harsher light or a softer light on it. And then you can slide little panels in front of the LEDs to make it more diffuse or change the color. The nice thing about LEDs is they don't get hot. They will get warm when you have running that much juice through them, but they don't get hot in the way of like an incandescent or a, what do you call it? What's the really hot ones? I keep on saying hydrogen. Halon? What is it? Anyway, the hot ones. and if you've ever sat in a studio with real lights, you'll sweat. It is terrible. And LEDs allow you to do it in a much shallower depth of field because you don't have to worry about getting a sunburn from them. And they are already a diffuse light to begin with, so they're easier to diffuse. You don't need these big soft light boxes for them, and they're more portable and whatnot. So hopefully that will allow better lighting for this, better lighting for the other projects and stuff we do.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Thank you. It didn't come out.
Yeah, I noticed that.
One of our friends is eating Palmer's chocolates, and I'm sorry because they're usually not as good. Frank, I'm glad you're enjoying chocolate.
So now you're being a chocolate snob?
No, I'm just saying I wish that he had better chocolate.
Snobby. What is the one project that drove you nuts trying to complete?
Again, children.
Right now, it's a P80. I was trying to build a all-in-one tower of silence to encapsulate an air compressor and a dust collector. And I was trying to build it in such a way that the air compressor would be at the bottom, the dust collector would be at the top, and it was a 2-stage, and they would dump down into a bucket, and trying to create a way to put a slidable bucket in there that would then seal. It was just, I just could not get it to work right. It drove me nuts. I ended up scrapping the whole project. I was so frustrated.
Insulin answered your question about lights. Talking about hot lights, you mentioned hydrogen and halon. Hydrogen is very flammable, and halon is a fire extinguishing agent. I think you mean halogen.
I said it was an H.
Which
I'm pretty sure that's what I said. I'm
I
pretty sure I said halogen. That's what I said.
We all know
I don't
you
make
didn't,
mistakes.
but that's okay. But I would say that normally when he's like, it starts with an H, it'll start with like a W.
Yeah,
so the
that's
fact
true.
that it was even actually close is a miracle. I will be right back.
Logan's Creation says, I'm looking for some hole saws. What do you think about Milwaukee Holedozer? Or is Harbor Freight any good? Any recommendations? The Milwaukee ones are excellent, but they're way expensive, and I don't think you need those. The Harbor Freight ones, I had the basic, the all black ones. They're super cheap. They will get the job done on wood and some materials and stuff, and I've used them. But they're not fun to use. I think normally I go for was it Linux? I can never remember the name of them, and no, not Linux. Who is it? Yeah, it is Linux. I really like those. I know there's probably better ones out there now. I'm sure Diablo's come out with some. Spider, I saw some from Spider at a recent trade show. I've heard good things and negative things from people about the Spider stuff. I got to use it at the trade show. It seemed pretty awesome there, but of course, they're always putting their best foot forward at the trade shows. So I don't know if anybody else has any experience with hole saws. Go ahead and comment. And I've got the Harbor Freight sent me the Bauer, not Bauer. What do you call it? Hercules one, and it seemed really good. I have not used it a ton though, and because they sent it to me, I don't know how much it costs, so I don't know if it's worth the money. I should probably put together a video on hole saw kits. What's your worst shop injury? Probably my pride. Let's see here. I'm trying to think way back. Okay. What the worst shop injury I ever had was I had kickback on a table saw where the riving knife, the bolts had come loose and it slipped down and I wasn't paying attention. And I shouldn't have been using the saw because I wasn't feeling so great. I did that twice, didn't I? Where I went out to the shop. I wasn't feeling so.
Are you talking about the time when we were here?
No, at the other house.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was trying to cut a small piece of wood that was probably too small without the riving knife, and it kicked and sent it back. But luckily I was doing the right thing, not standing in front of the blade.
Yep.
And I was off to the side, and it went underneath me. It scraped my arm and scraped my side. It drew blood, but it was a scrape. It wasn't like a gash or anything.
It was a really unique injury.
Yeah. Whatchamacallit? The worst injury on the job I've had. I don't know, even that. Well, at one time we were doing reno on a house, and somebody else had tried to do the previous owner thought they were going to buy the house. It was like a crack house, literally, and they tried to renovate it, and there had been a huge hole in the roof, like 8 feet across, and they hadn't fixed the hole before putting in new windows with window seals. So it then got rot from the inside out, ruining the window seals and the wood. And when we went in, we tried to take these windows out, and they were aluminum casings that had been screwed into the wood, and they'd stripped the screws. And at one point I got frustrated, and I knew the wood was bad, and I just tried to rip the window out of the wall. And it was because it was coming out. I thought I'm young. I just heaved into it, and then I heard the sound like the most perfect bell you've ever heard. And then out of the corner of my eye, because I was looking down when I was pulling, I noticed something coming towards me. So I just closed my eyes and squinted, and the whole sheet of glass, double pane glass, had popped out and crashed over my head. And I ended up, have you ever seen the movie Carrie? I looked like her. I had 1/4-inch glass cuts all over my head and my shoulder and my chest, the top of my chest. Didn't go down any lower, and on my arms. And it looked like I got hit by a glass shotgun blast. And it took a long time to wash and clean out all that glass. But that's probably I broke a couple fingers one time, and I really messed up my knee one time. But that's about it.
Smedley Dog 1 says, my eyelids aren't working very well tonight. Gotta go. Have a great evening. P.S. Nice horns, Mrs. DeBear. You are so welcome. I'm glad people are enjoying them because it was a last minute change.
Do I make you horny?
Oh my gosh. He's all mine. All mine. Hang on, I'm not done. Princess Jamie said worst injury was when a grinder disc exploded on my knee. Luckily, I was wearing jeans, but I probably should have had stitches.
Did you have a guard on the grinder?
We don't know. We're going to hear back from Jamie here shortly.
Or were you grinding using your knee as a workbench? Because
that's not a good plan.
I've never done stupid stuff like that. Ever. Yep. Will H says, appropriate set of headgear for that look she gave you. Yeah, that's pretty normal.
Yeah.
Mike says, have either of you ever built or made something that worked out so well visually and functionally that you couldn't believe it? It was what you did it, but you struggled to duplicate it. I'm having such a hard time. I can remember that feeling of I did something and being like, it worked. And it looks great. And it's just like I followed the instructions. I did everything and just the way you're supposed to, and it did great. And then not being able to do, but I can't remember what it was. I think I was drywalling. I was doing a drywall patch. I'm terrible at drywall, just so you know. I hate drywall with a passion. I've hung a ton of drywall. Mudding drywall is an art that I've never mastered.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is we need to have Griffin learn this.
Yes.
Because, Wahawk says his dad had a similar table saw accident to yours, but his hand was pulled back into the blade.
Oh.
Ouch.
And it was textured drywall.
Dear Falcon said, I cut off my left middle finger when changing a bucket on a John Deere loader with a 5-yard bucket. I was lucky I got my finger back, and it kind of works.
Oh.
Wahawk ended up with a fused first knuckle on the index finger and a couple of permanent splints in a couple fingernails. You use a push stick, kids. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I know. Now we're all like looking at our fingers.
Well, as I said, I broke these 2 fingers and this one pretty badly. I fell a story and a half, almost 2 stories basically, while on the job site. I was marking studs going around and walking on cross beams and was not paying attention as I'm moving side to side, marking these studs, and stepped right off into the spot where the stairs were eventually going to be. And I fell through that floor, the next floor, and landed somehow between studs on the floor behind it, catching myself and bending them backwards. It was lovely.
Inslim said, I did a drywall patch recently, too. I feel your pain. I also suck at mudding drywall. In other news, I need to paint my bathroom. I actually like painting. I think it's fun.
I don't like the prep work. I like painting. I don't like the prep work.
Wait, there's prep work?
And the thing with painting is it's all about the prep work.
Yeah.
Grimute says, I liked that Earthquake little polisher so much, I bought a second one and 2 extra batteries. See, that's the thing is
Cool.
everyone I know who has that thinks it's fantastic. And everyone I know who has the Ratchet also likes that. And everyone I know who has those wishes there were other tools. I mean, it's 2 tools. Who does a 12-volt line? It's so funny. I'm talking about this because I did a video about the battery system at Harbor Freight. The whole video's done. I haven't uploaded it yet. And so I'm sitting here talking like, oh, obviously we're talking about the video. Nope.
Matthew Bean says, howdy. Sam sells big jugs of M&Ms. They do. But the problem is that if I buy that big jug of...
You'll eat it?
I will eat them. It's the same with jelly beans. I love jelly beans.
Jason Blair says, staying family friendly. Bad chocolate is like bad marital relations. It ain't so bad.
I know. I saw that earlier and laughed. I didn't read it. Oh.
Fred says, so like what you use for filming and photography?
Are you asking what are we using? Like, are you asking about lights or are you asking about cameras?
Because the light, if you're asking about the lights that we have down there, that we have next to the tip jar thing, that is for filming. It's not usually used for photography. Photography, they usually use strobes rather than always on lights, although sometimes they use always on lights also. But yes, they are videography. They're specifically designed as videography lights. Bear One says halogen lamps are the hot ones, not your lady friend neither. You don't know. Mark says mercury vapor, HPS, halogen. I almost got injured by a halogen light when that moth landed on it and it exploded.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it sounded like a gunshot.
There was a moth situation earlier today in our house. Someone was very scared by it.
Was it Bella?
No.
Oh. And Simon says, talking about hot lights, you mentioned hydrogen halon.
I already read that one.
Oh.
Like an hour ago.
And there's also, we didn't talk about sodium lights.
Why are we still talking about lights?
I have a lot of extensive experience working with lighting systems. Indoor,
I have a lot of extensive experience eating chocolate.
Indoor, high-powered lighting systems. What?
I'm looking at you.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, because I'm ignoring you.
It was in northern Kentucky.
Oh, yes.
It involved
Yep.
agriculture.
Oh, Gurmoot says, I was so hungry I made it through half a giant bowl of cereal before I noticed the milk was spoiled. Will it hurt me?
Oh.
It depends on who you are. I personally think that I could eat that and be totally fine. Some other people in our family have really weak stomachs. So I think it just kind of means, how do you normally roll? I think you're probably okay. You're not going to die. You might throw up, but I think you'll probably be fine.
I chugged half of a bottle of, this was last summer, Frappuccino from the Starbucks Frappuccino you can pick up at gas stations.
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
I chugged probably 2/3 of that bottle because it was cold and before realizing it was bad. I once drank about 1/3 of a bottle of Wild Turkey before realizing that it had cork rot, which is where you can get a fungus in the cork and it can cause your spirits to go bad. It happens every so often. I once ate probably half a plate of pancakes before realizing that the syrup was completely filled with ants. And somebody left the syrup open in the pantry. Ants had gotten in. They'd all climbed into the syrup bottle, killed themselves, and I was so hungry I hadn't realized why the pancakes were crunchy. I'm trying to think what else I've done.
Yeah, I've done some not great things.
Yeah.
Yay! Insulin got the Smirnoff open.
Woohoo!
Good job. Those are like, you need like an adulting patch. I got my drink open. Fred Hill says, bad milk, I'd throw it up. I mean, I think it depends on who you are. Some people's systems are going to handle it better than others. I personally would not make myself throw up, but that's just me.
Cletus says, how do you motivate yourself to get that one project done that seems to just be dragging on?
Oh, that's hard.
If I knew the answer to that one, I'd be a lot further on in life than I am right now. Yeah. There's many times, and it's always like there's always some hang up about the project. There's this one thing that has to get done, and I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to approach it. And so what I have to do is basically either one of two things. Either just bulldoze my way through it until I get to that part and figure something out, or do some real research and figure it. And sometimes what I have to do is just stop, walk away from it, and give myself a set period of time before coming back to it, because sometimes you just need that distance for your brain to change its point of view and look at the problem a little bit differently. And then suddenly you're like, I don't realize why that was even an issue.
Yep.
Unless the issue is cleaning my garage, in which case I know what the issue is and I don't want to deal with it.
Yep. I would say the other thing is sometimes, I think the honest answer is sometimes you have to bribe yourself too. Like sometimes it's just a project that just stinks and you're like, if I do this, then I can go do that one fun thing I want to do. Or is that our computer?
No, it's someone outside doing
lawn work at 9 o'clock at night. Of course. When would you like weed whack your yard? Zaphiel says, eating ants with pancakes, bees with honey. Sounds like something a bear would do. Also, CMG G10 says ants equal protein and B12. So you're actually being really healthy. Mauricio says deep fried scorpions are good. I have never had those.
I'll pass.
I don't know about scorpions. I could eat littler bugs, I think. Like when you can get the whole thing in
the smaller scorpions you can do.
Yeah.
They're small.
The kids, we had them eat some chocolate covered insects. No, they weren't ants. They were all different
crickets.
kinds. Yeah, there were a bunch of
there was assorted bugs.
It was assorted bugs, and the kids really liked them. I think Duncan was not a huge fan. But Eleanor and Griffin were like super gung ho. So I think if we go somewhere where they have bugs, they would be like, "Oh, I remember this." So
Paul St. Marie points out that high power LEDs can get every bit as hot as halogens. I've got a 100-watt emitter that even on a heat sink with a CPU fan and gets hot enough to burn you if you go to full power. I don't know. Is it power-wise? Is it the same? I don't think it's the same for the amount of LED or amount of lumens that you get out of the light. I don't think it's the same. They can get hot because they do some ultra hot. This thing, if you leave it on for 5 minutes or so, will get scorching. It uses two of these little buggers in it, and it's got some juice going to it.
Carson's Exploring Channel did ask this question earlier, and I don't know if you just haven't gotten to it on your side or if we somehow missed it. But his question is, what is the worst mistake you've made on a job that it has cost you money? If you turn that blinky
I was just seeing if it worked. I was putting the batteries back in.
Did you hear
the worst job that has cost me money?
The worst mistake you've made on a job that's cost you money.
I screwed up on a bid. This is before I met you. I screwed up on a bid for cabling run where I didn't realize it needed shielded cable, and I didn't read the specs right. And it ended up costing me $10,000 to buy all new cable.
Oh, ouch.
So, yeah, that sucked. Now, the cable I did have, I was able to hold on to and reuse for other jobs. So I wasn't completely out. But at the time, I didn't have a lot of extra money. So,
yeah. Carson, we just read that one. Mauricio Pinto said, or Ed was responding to Mauricio's conversation about the scorpions. He says, yeah, loved having that and grasshoppers and a few other creepies fried in Mexico, Guadalajara style with hot sauce. That sounds interesting.
The worst mistake ever made was in management.
Oh. And
that was trusting Atari to be upstanding people, and they basically dined and dashed on us on just over $90,000. So that sucked.
Yeah. Rodney says, talking about a waste of chocolate, I made brownies, and the first bite I knew that the oil I used was rancid. Oh. Man.
That's sad because you got brownies now that you can't eat.
Yeah. Hipsters and Hippies said, a little splash of oil hit a halogen bulb while I was working on it under a car on a lift. The light blew up, flinging glass into my face. I jumped up, smashed my head on the rusty old car. Head wounds bleed. Yes, they do. Like a mother trucker.
And that's why I've converted to entirely LEDs. I won't do halogens again.
Yep.
Mike
Adams is my new best friend. He used to haul loads of Russell Stovers out of Texas and M&Ms and Twix bars for the Mars plant in Cleveland.
Twix bars.
Those are delicious.
Riley says I'll be taking a welding class to get my certification next year. The guy that I talked to said I'll be the youngest at 14. That's awesome. Congratulations. Welding is a great field to go into. Golf and Gun says Linux. That's the hole saws we were talking about. Fred says he bought the Hercules hole blades. And Cletus says opinion on Wera screwdrivers. I like them. I know they're really weird. The shape on them. I like them a lot. They're stupid expensive though. And, but I would say I like them for detail work, for electronics kind of stuff. I don't know if I'd buy the bigger set for, for heavy duty kind of stuff, but for assembly and whatnot, but for lighter duty electronic stuff, I really like them. Scorpion Sunday's in the house. He says, hello, Tool Bear.
Yes, he does.
And, Indio Monk says, hey, Bear King and DOT family. Let's see here.
Inslim said the worst mistake I made on a job was not checking for grease on a landing gear bearing. The wheel fell off and I got fired.
Oh.
Ouch. Ouchity, ouch, ouch.
I've been fired before. It sucks. Or Grizz says that the Hercules hole saw works great. Princess Jamie says my worst injury was when that's the one about the grinder disc. Sawdust Devil says anybody have experience with 45 miter lock router bits? Miter lock router bits. No. Freddie says worst shop injury, almost cut off my middle finger with a bandsaw.
Yep. Princess Jamie said the worst mistake I made working on a vehicle was leaving a transmission jack connected to the transmission while backing the truck off the lift. Oops.
I'm trying to think what the worst thing I did with working on a vehicle. I forgot to put a hose clamp. Forgot to tighten a hose clamp on a 73 Caprice Classic 2-door. It was mine. And I started it up and it popped off and showered the engine in coolant. And it didn't really hurt anything, but it made it look like the car was going to explode. I think that's the worst thing I've done as far as working on a car. Yeah.
Tom says, me and my buddy pulled cables. Awesome before office is finished, but going to a finished office, no fun. I can remember when I worked in the office having guys having to do that, and it just looked like it sucked.
Oh, fishing cable in an already built out office with people there sucks. Every bit of it. Pulling cable in brand new construction is easy peasy. We used to have a RC truck that we would get for good size when we run into good size drop ceilings, because with the 4-wheel drive it could run over the stuff that was hung in there. We tie the polymer rope to it and send it across, drive across, and then when other guys were pulling, we'd be sitting there doing wheelies with it and stuff. But always fun with those things.
Carson's Exploring Channel says, if you don't mind me asking, what did you get fired for?
Me?
And it's okay to say you don't want to say.
Let's see here. I've been fired for, let's see here. I'm trying to think. For not showing up on time repeatedly in the morning because I'm not a good morning person.
No.
And
no, you're not. I mean, you're better now, but I would say the majority of your life, You and Mornings had an epic battle.
Yeah. Yeah. And this was when I was on, I think it was my first or second job in the tech industry, pulling cable and stuff. And, you're supposed to be there with the crew, and I was just late and late and late. And it was stupid, and it was all my fault. And I got fired from another job because, well, I didn't get fired. I had quit. I turned in my 2 weeks notice and then got into it with the boss and basically told them they were idiots, and I got escorted from the building. And they tried to tell me that they would ship my stuff to me, and I told them that good luck with that. I'm going to go clean out my desk and then I'll leave. And they called security, and security escorted me from the building. But I had technically already served my 2 weeks, and I got paid for my 2 weeks. I'm trying to think if I've been fired. I've been laid off, but that's just, market stuff.
Well, and I think also when you're a young person, like not everybody it happens to, but there are certain lessons in life that you learn from realizing that you need to get up in the morning. Like, there's things that you do when you're a young person where you get fired from a job because you're young and you don't have the experience. You
mean because I stayed up and went out drinking all night with my buddies?
I was finding a diplomatic way to say that.
Yeah.
I have never been fired for that reason.
And then, I mentioned this before, and I don't know if anybody caught it, but I did do a stint for a while as a bartender. And
when you say do a stint, it makes people feel like perhaps you were in the big house doing some time.
It feels like that when you're a bartender. And people were like, how could you be a bartender and you had all these other jobs and stuff? I was like, easy, because I found that by being a bartender, I could drink for free. And I was at the bar in the evenings anyway, so. Yep. It was, you understand, this is Cincinnati, very German-Irish part of town, and everybody drank behind the bar. It was just normal. It was.
Yeah.
Time and place. It was a different culture back then.
Yeah. Javier Estrada, $5 super chat, says, I got burned with hot oil working on a car when I was young and reckless. The car had been running for an hour, and I thought it wouldn't be a problem. Yeah. Those are life lessons you learn.
Yeah.
Bing, bada, ding, 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 ding. Thank you.
I got splashed with battery acid all across my chest. Luckily, my shirt took 90% of it. And it was funny. I remember the shirt was like, I'm like, it looks fine. I can't believe it because she washed it. It looks great. I think it'll fine. And I pulled it taut, and it just went and crumpled and fell apart.
Yeah.
But anyway. Well, Huck said, that's when we talked about the stand there. Paul says, I think Deflator Mouse has tried shooting glass shotgun slugs.
That sounds awful.
Oof. Wohawk says, ended up with a fused first knuckle on the index finger and a couple permanent splints and a couple fingernails. Yeah, that's the one about using a push stick.
Yeah. We keep reading that as splints, but I think it's splits. Like the fingernails are split.
Yeah.
Yes. Hipsters and Hippies says, sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah. Michael says, it's been a fun night. Finished printing housing for AC voltmeter for use on isolated variac tool I have. Now's a good time to stop and work on snore practice. Be well. You take care, sir. Robert says, we need a bigger boat. I always need a bigger boat.
Yeah.
Princess Jamie says, had the guard lifted up an old stationary grinder, grinding 2-inch angle iron when it exploded, shattered in a downward motion. Yeah. Man, when those things go, I had a shop accident today. It was a minor one, but let me see if I can show you what happened. Where did it go? Oh, maybe it's over here. Why don't you read something while I make a fool of myself?
So Scorpion Sunday said, I drank when I was a bartender back in the day as well. Rex Racer says German Irish or Irish German. That's
Depends on the day of the week.
Yeah, I think that goes for me as well. Jehu says, I'm banned from a warehouse now because I'm on a video stretching, waiting for a guy outside who threatened me. LOL. Nice. You're like, take it outside.
So I was working on a video. So the whole thing I've been working on this weekend, I've been using this tool for, and I was going to do a review on it. But the part I was trying to do for this modification requires me to get very far into the workpiece. And so I stretched how far I could pull the bit out of the chuck and went a little too far. So I was using this tool, and this is a little sanding disc thing, and I didn't put it far enough in. I thought I was willing to risk it, and
you learned some things.
That's what happened to it. And it went flying out of the chuck. And luckily nobody got hurt.
I was going to say, and Griffin was wearing eye protection, right?
Of course he was. And he was sitting 2 feet away from it.
Oh, look. Mosquito eater.
Yes.
Princess Jamie says, when I was in Votech for diesel, my classmate placed a metal battery tray in between the posts of a semi-battery and welded the tray, and the battery exploded.
Oh, exploded. Yikes.
Somebody else said that they had, Ross Witt the second had hot solder dripped on his hand once. Ow.
I've been hit by solder a number of times. Usually it's so hot it usually hits you and kind of bounces off.
Jehu said escorted away is the only way to go.
Yeah. I found it amusing.
Yes.
I was like, I'm 6'2" in great shape. I'm like, I'm not worried about you.
Mauricio got fired for calling someone an idiot. Brad Payne said the worst thing I did putting in a new windshield, tight fit, tapping in the last bit, it cracked. A choice word of your choosing. I threw my little plastic hammer. It hit and broke the last windshield I had replaced. Oh, so you broke 2 windshields? Oh. Son of a Farfignugan. Oh, ouch. Yep. That's the day where you're like, you know what? I need to go have a beer and come back tomorrow because today is just not my day.
Cletus says, recommended radial arm saws, are they too dangerous? Very useful saws, but a kid in the grade above me cut off his finger in shop class with one. They slightly scare me. They are no more dangerous than, I would say table saws are more dangerous than a radial arm saw. The thing about a radial arm saw is the blade is churning, it's pulling the workpiece towards it rather than kicking it back towards you. It does have an issue where if it's not set up right and you're doing the wrong cut, where it can ride up on the piece and cause it to do all sorts of stuff. But it's not more dangerous than a table saw. And it can do about everything a table saw can do. And Jehu says, I would rather hang 20 sheets of drywall on ceiling and tape. I would rather hang 20 sheets of drywall on ceiling than tape and mud one sheet. Yes, I'm right. I don't mind hanging drywall, taping and mudding drywall. I want nothing to do with.
Yeah. Robert Bray got an M&M stuck in his nose. Here's my question. Was it like a peanut butter one or a regular one or a peanut one? Were you an adult? Were you a kid? Did you have to have it taken out? Did your parents do the thing where they blow in your mouth and shoot it across the room?
You're in the rabbit hole now. You have gone past the entrance. You're deep down in there. Time to move on. I'm behind. I got to catch up.
These are questions I have.
Carson's Exploring Channel 8, smashed my fingers in a car door. I think we all did that when we were 8. Ouch. Bear 1 says, Mrs. DeBear, painting is not mudding drywall or drywall mudding.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. Rodney says, my project problem is that some guy named Murphy always gets in the middle of it.
Yes.
There's always that. Commute says, oh my God, I was so hungry. I thought I made it half.
I already read that.
Hey. The lady Bear One says, "Lady friends, 1,000 times hotter than halogens."
Thank you.
And Joe Smith says, "Mrs. DeBear After Dark views 138. Eric the Car Guy views 78. Look who's more famous." Aw,
Aw. Well,
that's too
maybe
bad.
That's just likes.
Which
likes or views? It was
Views. Which, by the way, if you haven't, you got to check out Joe Smith's channel for the After Dark. He does an interview with YouTubers every Friday. I've been on there, and then another time he had the missus on it. He's had Eric the Car Guy and a bunch of other people. It's a great show. Sitting there, he does it radio show-esque, so there's no video.
It's very cool.
But it's a great one to listen to or stream podcast kind of thing. Mike Adams says, "I actually kind of like finishing drywall. Haven't done it in a few years." Mike, next time I need to get some done, I'll give you a call. Wallhawk says, "Talking about lights is very enlightening."
Yes.
That was too easy, man. You can't go for the low-hanging fruit like that one. Paul says, "The stupid chat keeps switching back to top chat and losing older entries." Grr. Yours does, or mine? Mine's still on live chat. I think it's only done it once. I hope. I may have done it 15 times. I wouldn't know. Princess Jamie says, "I drank wild turkey last night. Some may know." LOL.
Yes.
That is my drink of choice. I'm not a beer drinker. I like wine every so often when I get a wild hair up my you know what. But my average go-to drink is either wild turkey or Woodford's Reserve.
BS Small Engine says, "I was Joe Smith's first After Dark guest." And I know that you just said this, but it is really cool. It's a really cool show. So I would say check it out. What?
Joe Smith talking about my ants in the syrup adventure.
Yes.
Aunt Jemima, chunky style.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Insylum says, "I'm drinking a Smirnoff Ice and eating a carrot. Do the two cancel each other out?"
Yes. Yes.
That sounds terrible. Why would you spoil the Smirnoff with a carrot? Eating ants with pancakes, bees with honey. Yep. It was when I slowed down, I noticed something that didn't taste right. Yep. That's usually the way that goes. The worm in mezcal fights viruses. The worm in mezcal is a marketing gimmick. Just if you didn't know that. I should do some videos on history of liquor because I know quite a bit.
Brad's Workbench says, "I don't mind taping and floating drywall. Sanding it is what I hate."
Oh, Sandy, yeah. Scott says, "Long day already. Time for bed. Shine on, Mr. and Mrs. Bear."
Have a good night.
Thank you. Take care.
Speaking of which, just a heads up, we need to help Elle with her project.
Carson says, "What's the worst mistake you've made on a job that costed you money?" I think I answered that.
Yes, you did. I read a bunch of these,
Yes.
so some of them are going to be, you're going to be able to catch up.
Bear One says, "How I push through a project that drags on. I think if I get through this project, we can get some snacks because I'm basically a dog." Bear and food motivates. Yeah, I can see that. I've done stuff like that. And the chat just bounced on me. What?
You were going back the wrong way.
I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Ray says, "I received everything for my Harbor Freight pressure washer on my first warm day. I'll be putting it to work. Thanks for the heads up on that info, Red." Hey, by the way, and Ray, I don't remember if I talked to you. So I did the video on the pressure washer and I linked to I said I used this one. I said, but then there's this one that you can buy that does all this other stuff. Well, people informed me that that's not fitting in most of the Portland pressure washers. So if you've gotten that one and you didn't return it, I really apologize. I posted something on the page and I tried to respond to everyone who said that they commented and stuff, and I tried to reach out to everyone. But I put new links up to the replacement for that. So I hope those are the ones you're talking about that you got. And if not, and if you need help trying to figure out how to return or something, email me. It's red@denoftools.com. Rodney says, "Talking about a waste of chocolate, I made brownies in the first bite." Oh, that was the oil. Yep. Jesse, Mike Adams says, "Jesse, I used to haul to..."
We read that.
Well, you need to stop reading them.
Yep, and we read that. And then there's a whole discussion about this guy speaking Japanese. You already answered Carson.
Why don't you read some and I'll catch up to where I'm supposed to be rather than reading my stuff?
Because you need help.
No, you're all up in my business.
That's
and
right,
you need
because
to be doing
your
your
business is my business. Unless it's my business, then it's my business. And the old tech guy, $2 super chat. Mrs. the Bear loved the ears today. Thank you so much. Bing, ding, 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 ding. Thank you.
Grimute says, I was once fired for tripling quotas on one job.
Yep.
And Silence says, I was in high school when I figured out that if I didn't stay up late, I was less tired in the morning.
Yep.
It was like magic.
Insom says, I do not like beer. My go-to is Smirnoff Ice. Jeep and Jeffrey said, what's up, Den Clan? I think you mean Bear Clan. That's
No,
okay.
Den of Tools. Den
Okay.
fine. Javier says, I got banned from Ace just because I said Harbor Freight has better prices.
Nice. Jim Adams says, greetings from lockdown in Bakersfield.
Oh, Bakersfield in the house.
Brad Payne says, Princess Jamie, I had something like that happen once. I had an Audi when I was a teen, and the battery was under the back seat. I put in used free top post that was fine until it got sat on and fire. I'm assuming you mean it caught on fire.
Oh, I remember with the hatchback we had, I was trying to show Duncan how to install a car battery.
Oh, yeah.
And because I was so busy talking to him, I pulled the stupidest mistake and I put it in backwards.
Yep.
And blew most of the dash.
There were some choice words that happened that day.
I was so pissed.
Yep. And I was like, what do you mean? And then you explained it, and I was like, ew. Yeah. Not great. Jennifer White Wolf is back after dinner.
Hey, what'd you bring me? I'm starving. Scorpion
He
Sunday
acts
says...
like he never gets fed.
Never. Me and the dog, we're on the same boat on that one.
Yep.
Good, Scorpion Sunday says he's up to 58 subs. Hope to be 100 soon.
Yay.
And let's see here. Joe Smith says, Joe Smith once had to jump over a carpet that turned to lava.
Jennifer White Wolf said, you need help. It's my business.
What?
That's what she said.
Oh.
Ed the Old Tech Guy. It says, hey, everybody. It's Ed the Old Tech Guy. If you're a fan of the bear, just like me, we'll shop where the fans shop. Oh, thank you so much. That's a link to our shop. Danny Sparks says, first time chat. Me and my daughter love your channel. She loves the bear. Keep up the good work, guys. I'm super glad that you are here with us tonight. And hello to your daughter.
Howdy.
Hey.
Hey, speaking of the shop, so the missus had an idea. She was thinking about doing shine-on stickers or something like that. Would you be interested in something like that? So
I would be, but I'm biased. I
You are.
had the idea.
Fred says, as a firefighter, I was working on a large fire extinguisher and the hose blew up in my face and sprayed chemicals all up in my eyes and face. Both whites of the eyes turned brown.
Oh,
that's bad, right?
Wow.
That's bad.
That's
when that
bad.
happens.
That's bad. I'm not a doctor or a firefighter, but I'm going to say that was bad.
Rodney says, LOL, Jeff and I are both built where things bounce off of us. Yeah.
Before we lose the comment, Charlie and Aaron Mueller, it says, where does the shine on come from? And then it says dash wifey. So I'm thinking Aaron asked that question.
I am the author of the best-selling book in the world on how to produce your own hand sanitizer. It's called, it's a joke. It's called The Home Distiller's Workbook, Your Guide to Making Moonshine, Whiskey, Vodka, Rum, and so much more. I've written a few other books. In fact, if you go to our shop, currently because of the lockdown, I know people are at home and bored, so I've put 2 of our books in ebook format on sale for $1 each over there. How to brew beer and how to make moonshine. And when I lived in Kentucky, I got to be friends with a gentleman whose family made their own products and sold it. And I would, during the summers, I would help them out every so often. So I learned valuable life skills and had fun doing it.
Wallhawk says he's vaccinated. He drank 2 Coronas. I'm vaccinated now. Good night, all, is what DR Falcon said. Good night. Sleep tight.
Well, Hawk says, sometimes the low-hanging fruit is all you give me to work with. Oh, now it's my fault. I see.
This is why we're family.
Let's see here. Jane Garber says, used my Dremel a couple weeks ago, didn't put the cutoff wheel on far enough, flew out, hit me on the bridge of my nose. Only a flesh wound. I'm trying to think if I had some. I know I've had them break on me, much like, grinder discs break and stuff, but I don't think I've ever had one actually just fly off the handle like that. Not like my wife. She flies off the handle all the time. Not you, my other wife. Just like watching the wheels spin. What? Huh? Oh.
Back to real people.
Danny says, first time chat. Me and the daughter love your channel. She loves the bear. Keep up the good work. I read it better.
Okay. It's a competition tonight. Again, hello to your daughter.
Also, Wohawk will point out he's vaccinated now because he had 2 Coronas.
Okay. We're in the twilight zone. Keith says, recommendations on a beginner welder. Want to teach myself to weld. So, our welding friends and family.
I think Riley would be a great option.
I will be right back.
He's a beginner welder. There are 2 schools of thought when it comes to beginning to weld. One of that is throw your butt in the fire, get a stick welder, and learn the hard way. Because once you get down how to strike and control the arc, you will be able to do about anything from there. I think that's a bit much. I find often that and this is honestly a school of thought that goes along with so many types of skill sets. And here's my issue with it. If you throw somebody in the deep end like that, what happens is, not that stick welding is terribly hard, but if you compare it to MIG welding or flux core, it's like a hot glue gun. It's so stupidly easy. And I would definitely, if I was like, so what I do, I have a flux core. I am not the world's greatest welder by far. I'm not an expert. I have several close friends who are master welders, have every certificate you could throw at them. I mean, they do it all. The stainless and food safe and also, everything except for underwater basket weaving welding. I've learned what I can from them, but what I learned was this, which is, and this is not just welding, is if you throw somebody at a skill and say, well, do this, because then once you got that, you can do all this other stuff. Sometimes the learning curve is so steep on that. A lot of people go, well, screw this. I don't like this. I'm not going to do it anymore. Whereas if you throw at them something easy that they stair step through, then because learning is like that. Everyone thinks they talk about learning curves. There's no such thing as a learning curve. It's learning stair steps, because you learn at this linear path and then you hit a wall, and until your learning gets to a certain point, then you make a categoric leap up to the next level. It very seldom is in like gradual raising of skill. So that said, the using a flux core to me is very much like MIG welding, except you don't have to deal with the gas. There's more spatter, there's more smoke. You want to do it outside. But if you can get a cheap flux core or MIG, that would be the way I would start. I've got the titanium from Harbor Freight. I think it's great. The size is small. It's inexpensive. You can get it for like $170 when it's on sale. So, but if anyone else has any other opinions, feel free to chime in. As I said, I am not an expert at welding.
Ray just got back to you and said, I just checked and you're right. Mine doesn't fit. Perhaps a bit of grinding will adjust it, or is it easier to order the replacement?
I think it's easier because the issue is not just the ears, but the barrel itself is too big around. So you'd have to smoothly grind the whole barrel and then get a new O-ring for it. And I really apologize. It was linked as in like, hey, if you bought this, you can also buy this. And it looked like it was the same thing. And somehow it's a different size. I don't know what its spec is, but I've talked to other people and they said they didn't have any problems returning it and getting the other one. But if you do have any problems, as I said, email me and I will go to work for you because I put the recommendation out there and I feel like I owe you guys. So,
Charlie and Aaron Mueller said, thanks for explaining. Yes, wifey asked the question. It was about the shine on. You are so welcome.
what did she say?
She asked about where the shine on came from.
Yes, but what did she just say now?
Thanks for explaining. Yes, wifey asked the question.
Okay, because you just said that. I just read Bear One's comment that says, that story about making booze didn't answer where Shine On came from at all, Bear. So he's saying it didn't answer it, but she asked the question. She said it did, so you're wrong. Yeah, but he's right. Technically, he's right because I didn't actually say it. But anyway, the whole thing came from my books. I wrote the book, and I started doing... I got invited to a whatchamacallit?
Maker?
A wine taste,
Drinking
wine
festival?
and alcohol. Actually, it was liquor. It was a spirit tasting festival, and they offered to give me a free booth where I could sell my book and do book signings and stuff. And I'd never done it before, and so I went there to do it, and I started signing it. Shine On, Jeff King. And that's kind of where it came from.
Yep. And it just has stayed with us.
Yeah.
And we like it. Ray says, thanks, brother from another.
Frank says, I'm going to certify for unemployment in 1 hour as Monday is my day. Well, I'm sorry that you have to, but at least you're going to be able to do it.
Yep.
Mrs. Bear, why do you say Bing instead of Ding?
I don't know. It's just how I roll. Bing, bada bing, 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 bing. I don't know.
And Donna Ross says that she's stuck at 64 subs. We'll fix that.
She didn't say stuck. She said hanging at a steady 64 subs.
Jennifer White Wolf says Audi 5000 took a special insulated post battery and a vent tube that put the hydrogen gas outside. I remember that. I had an Audi 5000. That was a great car.
I don't know if I had one.
I had a 4000 and a 5000. And Jennifer says stickers only if cheap enough. I think she's talking about the Shine On thing.
Yeah.
And Salem says, when you guys migrate, do you pack up all your stuff or do you have stuff you leave in Nevada and stuff you leave in Montana? We do transport quite a bit of stuff. We basically load both vehicles as full as possible. But we have two full households, one here and one there. So stuff stays here, stuff goes there. Like I'm not going to be taking this. That
what? Just chain it to the back. And
not on this run. We don't have a garage or a shop there. I got a small shop area, but I need to build a bigger shop, which means we also need to buy some land.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Ed the Old Tech Guy, Jeff, my friend, what are your thoughts on small YouTubers using TikTok? I know little to nothing about it. I think TikTok is highly addictive.
Yes.
And really easy to lose a bunch of time to. And there's no way to monetize TikTok. So the only way you can monetize it or build your YouTube is to do stuff on TikTok that then you find some way to convince those people to go off platform and go over to YouTube. I don't know how successful you can be in doing that though. For people who are I don't know, maybe try it, I guess. Everything I've seen on TikTok has all been like kids doing goofy videos and stuff. I don't know if there's like real content on there.
Danny Sparks says, we are both getting ready to order some merch from your store. My daughter started laughing when you mentioned her. Her name is Morgan.
Oh,
hey, Morgan.
That's a great name.
I love that name.
One of my favorite cars.
One of my favorite names. I believe that we floated that for Eleanor's name.
Well, Huck says, I got nothing but Iowa corn-fed love for you. I know.
Wahawk. It's
For you, as
okay.
you know, we got a lot of Iowans in the
And Michigan.
and Michiganders.
Michigan.
But I often say that I grew up in Iowa. I think I spent like I was. Sorry, I'm doing some math. It was not as long as I think. I think it was only like 10 years.
You rode a dinosaur to school. It was a
and
while
I,
ago.
and I spent another 3 years in Nebraska area, eastern Nebraska, but it was those formative years. So I always think of myself as and my family, on both sides, my father's side, my mother's side, they're all from Iowa. So I always think of myself as being from Iowa. And Dara Ross says rug or flamethrower on the wife comment. I'm quite
He
sure I don't
probably
know
said
what you're talking
something
about.
when I was gone, and I think that you should flamethrower him first and roast it, and then we'll make a nice rug out of him.
Javier says, my neighbor invited me to partake in lifted truck racing in a dirt track his friend made. My Silverado is a performance truck, but it's not a show truck either, which means I'm participating. That sounds like hella fun, man. I love dirt track
I want to see
stuff.
video. Can
Yeah.
someone take video? Please.
Rodney says, can you use a DIY screwdriver instead of buying an insulated screwdriver electricians use? You may be shocked by how inappropriate that is for the job. It depends, depends on what you're doing with it. And there are some people who wrap like handles and stuff in electrical tape for stuff like that. I don't know if I would rely on that.
Insulim is questioning if we rent one place and own the other. When we leave our stuff where you rent, does that mean you still have to pay rent when you're not living there?
Nope, they don't make you pay rent.
Your stuff also still won't be there when you get back.
Yes.
Daughter Fra already
Yes, they
answered
do.
that.
Jennifer says, did you know in very early Harley owner manuals they had instructions on how to distill your own alcohol fuel? I did not know that. That's awesome.
Wait, what?
The early Harley Davidson, the
Oh.
owner's manual,
Mhm.
told you how to make your own fuel. Jim Haynes says Lincoln Electric has books and DVDs about welding and
Yes.
sell them cheap to promote welding skills. That's really cool. I was not aware of that. Princess Jamie says, speaking of hair done, I can't wait for the beauty salons to open up.
Okay.
Were you talking
Princess
about your hair
Jamie?
again?
No.
Oh.
Wait. I don't think I was. Princess Jamie, do you have bangs or no bangs?
Are you back to this bang thing again?
If I could cut my own bangs, it would already have happened.
Did you show them how long your hair's gotten?
I could show them. It's down to my butt, basically. It's almost there. I was actually thinking about that when I left for a hot second before, about if I could like donate it somewhere.
Oh, it is pretty long.
Yeah. It's really long and really heavy, and I'm ready for it to not be long.
Why do you hate me?
I don't hate you.
I have a thing for long hair. I'll be honest, any longer than this, and it gets to the point of being kind of ridiculous.
Let's be honest. I shed more than the dog, so there's long hairs everywhere. Why do we need that?
Here's the true confession. Being a
Crazy.
person who was born in the late 60s, was, young in the 70s and a teenager in the 80s.
I'm wondering where he's going.
My true appreciation is for like
Oh,
big
I know where
hair,
you're going. Yeah.
like Farrah Fawcett, Aquanet, just the big mane of long hair.
We could do that one day. It'll take like 4 days to get all the crap out of my hair.
Tony
but
Katane. Is their name? Tawny Katane.
I have no idea what you're talking
From Whitesnake?
Yeah.
Oh, you have no idea. Sorry.
about. He's
She's a little younger than I am.
yeah.
By
Yeah.
a couple centuries.
Yep.
Mrs. DeBarris Bell is sponsored by Microsoft.
Bing.
Eric asks, does Harbor Freight sell a DIY level cordless buffer for waxing my car? Cordless? I don't think they do. I can tell you that Hart has one from the whatchamacallit, the Hart line over at Walmart. They've got one that looks pretty cool. But I don't think I know Harbor Freight has. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it. I'm pretty sure I've seen pictures of one. I could have sworn I saw one in the Bower line, but they don't have one right now.
Princess Jamie says Olivia Newton-John hair.
Oh, yeah.
Daughter of Ross says at the Den of Tools I can go full afro, wash it and let it dry. Okay, I love hair that is not straight, and I love that because I have straight hair.
Oh, have you ever seen what do you call it? ZZ Top's Sharp Dressed Man, the music video. Girls in that.
Yes.
Pink high heels, big hair.
Yep.
The shirt with the one shoulder off the side.
You know that's back, right?
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying your daughter is going to be embracing that look shortly, and that's going to ruin it for you.
No.
Yep.
Gramita says, speaking of glass breakout office, it's 90% all glass with 3/4 inch 510 sheets. We had to place a pane in track. Takes 4 of us to lift. As we were sliding in place, it popped, cuts all over it. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Breakout office. Ouch.
Zaphiel, I saw your comment on TikTok.
Yeah, and daughter of Ra already told him.
You're a bad man.
Yep.
But you're entirely right. What?
I am going to zap you.
Traveler says, what do you think about mini induction heaters for rusty bolts and nuts? I've not used them. And I love the technology. I think it seems pretty cool. But I've never used one. I don't know how well it would work. It seems like it's creating a huge mess. I mean, do they just heat it up to the point where it's going to break it loose? And here's a question. I know this because we talk about heating bolts to break them loose. Wouldn't you be better off freezing a bolt? Because I just had to do that.
Yes.
With the thing I'm working on because I couldn't get the rail system into it because it wouldn't fit. So I had to throw it in the freezer. What the hell is a freezer?
A freezer. That's where you put things and it helps you say things better. Kind of, you need to put your words in the freezer because they're not coming out right.
In the freezer for like 3 hours to get it to reduce in size enough to fit. And I would think that would break it loose, allowing you to. Anyway.
Insulin.
Just thinking about physics.
Yes.
Joe Smith, when was the last time you met someone that didn't need a bigger shop?
Never.
Yeah,
Never.
That's like saying, how much is enough ammo? Well, that's a trick question, isn't it? And let's see here. Hipsters and hippies, I've never had a drink while watching you. However, if you say shine on right now, I'm going to take a shot of this corn whiskey, 180 proof. You say the word, don't do that. Don't. 180 proof, it'll burn, dude. You'll damage yourself at 180. I've drank a capful of what we didn't have a proofer on hand, but I would say it was close to that. It's real hard to get to 180. It's real hard to get that high. But usually you're getting like 160, 170 on the high end. And I think what I had was probably closer to 170, maybe 160. And it was rough. Anyway, yeah, don't do it. Cut that with something.
Mark Sparks says, thanks for the prayers the other night. Surgery went well and she's home.
Oh, thank
Yay!
goodness. I'm so happy for that.
Sorry, there was a small child
Griffin Bear.
losing his little mind.
Barbecue 76 says, I'm back. Let me get a recap of everything I missed. Well, we solved coronavirus.
We didn't.
Shh, don't tell them. They've been missing.
Stocks are back up.
Yeah.
And someone's bringing me pizza because I'm starving. Why am I so hungry?
I will make you food.
That's not pizza. You're not going to make me pizza.
And we built a gun last night, so.
You what?
We built a gun last night.
Yeah. Princess Jamie says, no bangs. My hair is currently at mid-back. Sorry, Griffey. There's just some words we're not supposed to say on the YouTubes.
That's okay.
It's okay. Thank you. Her hair is currently at mid-back.
Oh, but
so
no bangs.
She's close behind you. And Mohawk says, all talk of bangs has William Has William Hung from American Idol sang She Bangs?
Nice. I know the song you're talking about.
I don't know. Do you think I should go for bangs?
Oh my gosh.
I miss it. Somebody said, and somehow the chat jumped on me. Somebody asked about something about like videos for barbers or something like that, how to do DIY barbering. And I'm really sorry I missed it, but I did a video on, I cut his hair. I think it looks fabulous.
Yes. Rail 92222 says dinging the buzz cut on the gub. Bing.
Yeah, I tried to give him not quite as harsh a buzz cut, but his hair was so thin, it just wouldn't do it. So we had to go all the way down. I did a video on it. It was.
Yes. It was great.
Yeah, I should have them do my hair next because it's getting a little long.
It is getting long.
And I need to trim my beard. It's getting a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
Although if we head up to Montana soon, I may need it for the installation.
Whatever. That's why you get a hat.
Zaffio says, Mrs. Bear, see how good your husband's heart is showing up with an Ellen DeGeneres haircut. I would buy her a wig. I love her that much. Speaking of which, I put on a video for the wife because knowing that she would get touched by it and she wanted to see her do one of her awe moments. And it was a young girl who has really severe alopecia.
Yes.
And if you don't know what that means basically your hair falls out.
Yeah.
And she was probably 10, about Eleanor's age.
Yeah.
And she got for a gift a very high-end wig. Fairly long, blondish kind of hair. And she opened it up, saw what it was, didn't know she was getting it. And she was so excited. And then she ran into the bathroom to look at it. And then she's like, oh my gosh, I have hair. I have like real hair. Mm-hmm. And it was, and then I'm like, and I put this on to give her the moment. And I'm sitting there going, it's very dusty in here. Why did I watch this? It was sweet. If you have kids, when you're a dad and you've got kids, it's hard not to see stuff like that and not get choked up over it. Especially when you got a little girl the same age who luckily does not have any problems like that.
Yep.
Although if she keeps talking back to me, she might end up bald.
I don't know. She goes back and forth. She wants to cut it all off, but then she doesn't.
Frank Landgraf says, hair like the band members of Poison.
Yes, that is exactly what he's going for. You know what? Maybe that should be. Well, I'll have to think about it, but that would be really fun to like do some crazy hairstyling.
Are you gonna
stuck at home?
Are you gonna wear the skinny jeans with the high heels and the little frilly socks too? Go with the whole look, the whole '80s thing.
I need the shoes. I think I have skinny jeans. Daughter of Ross said, Jennifer White Wolf, last 2 times lice visited my home, my head basically got buzzed. Yes, I am a female. You know what? I did it. We had a really bad issue with lice when I was in high school. And that is not the only reason that I shaved my head, but I did shave my head. And I could not believe it. I'm like, I get it when they're like super little, but like, how do you have an issue in a high school? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daughter Ross says that she likes it when the missus says bing instead of ding.
Yay. Oh no, she was restating because Insulin got his comment blocked accidentally by one of the other mods and it was a mistake. So then she was posting what he said.
Drive-by modding.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. My leg hurts.
Let's see here.
Rodney says, I have the haircut Griffin has.
Traveler X says, yes, it's only for heating the bolts and nuts. I think the idea of the heat will cause the metal to expand at a different rate, thus breaking the rust bond. It will, but if you have a bolt, and I know this works. I know somehow it works, but it seems physics-wise, and I'm just doing this as a thought problem kind of thing, that if you've got a bolt in a cylinder and you're heating the bolt, you're expanding it in the cylinder. Doesn't that seem like you're potentially causing damage to the outside? I guess if that can't do anything, and then it contracts, then you get the same thing as this if you froze it. Because if you froze it, then you put torque on it, you're just going to shear the head of it off. So, I know. I'm just one of those kind of geeks that likes to run through things like that. Barbecue 76, 80s, early 90s. I had hair down in the middle of my back. Now I have gray hair, but I still have the hair, at least for now. I had some hair that was down to my shoulders at one point. That's about as long as I ever... What?
Pictures or it doesn't count.
It was that same time and period in Kentucky I was talking about before.
So there's no photographic proof.
Hell no. There are no photos of me for like 10 years.
Tom says our daughter donated her hair to Locks of Love, 18 inches of hair. I was so and still am so proud of her at the time she was 12.
That is great.
That is super great. And I have donated my hair before. And Eleanor has talked about wanting to cut her hair. And so I think if we did cut her hair, we would probably do something like that if she wanted to. But yeah, I think if you have long hair and you're able to donate it, and my hair grows like crazy. So I am grateful for that because I know lots of friends who it takes forever for their hair to grow. Mine just will not stop growing.
Jamie says, I put a cluster shaft from a manual transmission in a freezer to get the bearing on the shaft pressed on easier. I've done that, using heat and cold and stuff like that to change the diameter of metal and stuff. I'm trying to remember what I last used it because there was something, I think it was for a table saw, that there was just absolutely no way to get this bearing on there unless you froze it first.
Ed, the old tech guy with the $2 super chat. Light money. Ding, 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 ding. Thank you.
Jim Haynes says, if people are interested, just search the James F. Lincoln Arc Welding Foundation. All the books and DVDs are on the site.
That's cool.
Barbecue 76 says, damn, that's an awesome recap. Perhaps I'll need to disappear more often. You and Hoffa, look what's happened since he went away. Eric says, you put bearings in the freezer to shrink them and make them fit. There. See, there you go. So he says something about Griffin's t-shirt. What was his t-shirt?
It says, if this shirt's glowing, I'm ignoring you.
Oh, yeah. Like that one.
It is a super bright shirt.
Oh, Mexican Coca-Cola. Yeah. The kids, we introduced them to Mexican soda. They love that stuff. Oh, the sugar. And somebody said, I need a bowl of Cincinnati chili. I need a bowl of Cincinnati chili with like 3 or 4 conies on top of it. Oh my God. You have no idea.
Brad apparently divorced his flamin' whiffer. So, wow.
What?
He said that's what he said.
Let's see here. Donna Ross says, one round was from the rescue of a relative from Mississippi who had a shampoo-resistant kid. Second round was from getting my hair trimmed and not clean tools.
Yep, that stinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done a lot of volunteering in schools, and the thing that trips me out is when I was a kid, if you had lice, you went home and they had to deal with it. That is not the case anymore. It is not a communicable situation.
It's not considered a health crisis anymore.
Right. So they will not send them home. They will contact the parents, but they don't.
Yeah, it's all sorts of special.
Right. So, and I get it. Like, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It's life. They're just critters, just like all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, we've dealt with it. But it does make me 99.9% of the time make sure my hair is up when I am at the school.
Asylum says, if the bolt and cylinder are made of different materials, they're expanded at different rates. Depending on which one it is, it could make the bolt looser or tighter. That's true. And that's also why, as much as I love my Ram, it's known for having a problem with breaking bolts on the exhaust header. I think because it's aluminum and the engine's steel, if I'm not mistaken. So it's well known for, and they make the bolts too damn small. Anyway, Nate Reader, Pocket Hole Jig, Harbor Freight, or just by Craig. I've not used it. I know some people who have the Harbor Freight one. They say it works great. It seems extremely clunky to me, but for the price, if it works and you're not using it a whole bunch, then you're probably just fine. Otherwise, get the Craig one. To be honest, though, they're not that hard to make yourself. So,
Hey, Dale Lucid.
hey.
William Davis said, no hair on the sides, so I let brows grow and do a comb up. Nice.
Javier says, I just bought shares in GoPro and GM. GoPro at around $275 and GM at $22.73. GM I could see. GoPro, I gotta say, I don't think it's a great buy. I've been trading options in and out of GoPro just because it's been so up and down. And GoPro has been up recently, but there's like no reason for it. GoPro came out several years back. They were worth a bunch of money, and then they've been downhill ever since then. And there is no long-term plan for success at GoPro because they're a very niche market. They have never been able to expand out of that action camera thing. And action cameras are the kind of thing where somebody buys one and it does what they need it to do, and they use it for years and years and years and years. And unless there is a compelling reason, they don't ever buy another one. And, you know, when they got to 4K, that was a compelling reason to get some people. So like the GoPro 4 Silver was a big one. And recently the GoPro 7, when they added the software stabilization that made it almost as good as a gimbal, was another big reason. And so they've had a recent bounce from that, but they're on a downhill slide, man. And it's, I don't know. You should come by tomorrow if you're up early in the morning and check us out on Bear's Den, where we talk stocks in the morning. So 6:30 a.m. Pacific time.
Yep.
Some other time, Central and Eastern. I don't know what it is. It's 9:30 Eastern.
William Davis says, at the Den of Tools, but then you didn't say anything. Perhaps we're having technical issues. So I did see you. I don't see your comment, though. Princess Jamie says the older GM 6.0 has the same issues with the exhaust manifold bolts.
Does it?
Wow.
Yeah. I'm planning I actually have that issue. Mine right now has a ticking noise, and luckily we're registered in Montana, so it's not a issue as far as registration and smog. And it does reduce your gas mileage a little bit, but other than that, I don't believe it has any significant problems for the engine. I'm planning to pull them off, extract the studs, and I want to put short headers on it. And that's going to be a huge project. Donna Ross says, so now I figured out how exactly we are doing Ricky's birthday on the 27th.
Yeah, I know. I've been trying to think of like something creative. Basically because Ricky's birthday is on the 27th. And you're not going to be able to spend it with family. Are you guys able to like FaceTime or Zoom or something? I would just try to make it really special for your family, for you and Steven and Ricky, and include your family however you can. I'm sure, it'll be different this year, but this year is also different for a number of reasons. So it'll be unique and wild, and you will look back and say, wow, that was a really interesting birthday. And I think for all of us, it doesn't help to focus on the hard part or the negative part. Not that I'm saying that you are, but thinking about this is making me think about, everything that's going on. And it's really easy to get in a funk and be like, man, I can't go outside and I can't go see my friends and I can't whatever. And it's a great time for us all to remember the things that we can do. If you're in a place where you're able to take a walk, get some air. If you're home and you aren't able to take a walk, tackle that project or that amazing business idea that you were like, one day I'm going to have time for this. It's a great time for us to be grateful for what we do have. And so I know that Ricky's birthday will be super amazing. And are you getting him a cake? Oh, that was the other thing. Sorry, totally random, but your comment about cake reminded me. We have friends who are neighbors, and they have a kiddo who has a birthday in early May, and they went to the local Albertsons, which is like Safeway, and they wanted to order a cake, and they were told that they are not doing any cake orders. You just get to pick what they have there on the day.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
That seems crazy to me. Anyways, his birthday will be awesome. Sorry about my ramble.
Jim says, never had any luck with the freeze spray deals at work. The torch always just works. Did 6 minutes, 6 nuts, 6 studs, and exhaust. Yeah, I don't know a lot of people have been able to do the freeze spray thing and have it work. I was just pondering physics. Then I'm sitting there going, I wonder if ultrasonics would work. You put an ultrasonic on it, see if you could break it. I don't know. It's just me always trying to find new ways to screw things up. And he says, Jim says, use ARP branded bolts on headers, they won't break. My understanding is that any bolts in this thing will break because the size of the bolt is undersized because they decided to save a few pennies there, and that no matter what you do, it ends up breaking.
Princess Jamie says, as long as it's not a collapsed lifter on your Ram causing the tick.
Yeah, and that was my first concern. When it happened, when I got the tick, I was like, oh, this is not good. I was like, it's either that or there was a hole in the exhaust or something, and or there was an oil leak or whatnot. So I freaked out, and I'm like, no, the oil's fine. And I'm like, I tried to find an exhaust leak, couldn't find an exhaust leak. And I have a buddy who's a mechanic locally, and I ran it by him, and I'd already done some research, and I'm like, okay, from everything I can tell, there's a known problem where and it's right at this mileage. It's right when you hit 70,000 miles. Apparently this happens. I was like at 84, and he got in there, and he's like, yep. He's like, you've got a broken bolt. He's like, at least one, if not two. And so it's going to be fun. There's some flying critters around in here.
I'm just, hallucinating at this point. Losing my mind.
Ed, the old tech guy, Mrs. Bear, looking great. Plus, she is smart and likes Aliens movies. The Bear is a fortunate guy.
We should watch Aliens tonight. Yeah.
I know. Well, we were just talking about watching another movie. We made the kids watch Wrath of Khan last night.
Yeah, the children probably are going to be in therapy forever.
They loved it. Oh, it was the earwig thing?
No.
Oh.
They didn't love it, honey.
Duncan loved it. Eleanor fell asleep.
No.
She always, yes, she did.
Duncan was not loving it.
Yes, he was.
Okay.
You don't know.
It's okay, honey. It's okay. They loved the movie. Mm-hmm. They thought it was great.
What did we have him watch the other day that he really liked that we didn't think he would be all into? And he was like, no, I really like it.
Yeah, there was some movie. Good night, BS Small Engines.
Good night. Donna Russ says, I think I'm going to have Steve go to Walmart to get a cake next Saturday or Sunday. I can always add the candy icing letters. Those are the best anyway. I like homemade cakes myself.
I was going to say, I wish I was closer. I would totally.
Insylum says, Wrath of Khan is one of the best Star Trek movies. And, well, this was it. We decided, I'm trying to find older movies that they wouldn't normally watch to make them watch. We do family movie night at least once a week. And I said, we should do Star Trek. So I was going to make them watch Star Trek 1. And she threatened to light me on fire if I made anybody, including her, and especially her, make them watch the first Star Trek. I'm like, fine.
I didn't say especially me. I just knew the kids would not.
And you're like, I hate that movie. I know. I won't watch it.
He has lost his mind.
I think
in here.
I think you threw a timing belt because there was a really high-pitched whine. Anyway, probably not a timing belt. Probably alternator belt or something. I don't know. Anyway, I said, well, in that case, I said, we'll watch the second one. That one's got a lot more action. There's Khan in it and all that. And it's epic space battles and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
there was, we watched something. Was it something about Rome or something we watched? Because he was really into it.
Well, you guys watched 300.
Oh, yeah, we did watch the 300. And PC says trading S&P futures contract is where the money is at in a volatile market, like we've been having lately. Yeah, so we did this challenge where we started at $100, and I was up to almost $900, trading mostly SPY puts on that, and just it was like a money printing machine. And we were getting to the point, and once I got past 800, I diversified my income. Or my money, I put half of it back into SPY and the other half into other stuff. And then J Pow and the gang over there started to print their own money and prop up the economy, and puts stopped printing. Mm-hmm. And I know I'm speaking just alienese for the rest of you, but for those of you who follow the options trading thing, oh, I was so mad.
Tom said someone needs to sleep with one eye open tonight.
Yeah, well. I went to bed last night. I went to bed about an hour after she did. I walked in the bedroom, and she's asleep like this, with sunglasses on, her phone laying here.
That's how I normally sleep.
You look like a dead cat.
Thanks. I love you.
You were
too.
a very attractive dead cat.
Thanks.
The cutest dead cat I've ever seen.
Oh, don't try to walk it back.
Lizzelli makes a number of drill jig plates for exhaust manifolds repairs are now very reasonable. I saw those. They look pretty nice. I remember seeing those just recently and being like, oh, see, I need that.
Antonio says, hello, Jesse and Jeff.
Hello. How you doing, sir?
Hello.
Brian says, I happened across a nice birthday party last week. As I drove down my road, came across a line of parked cars. I thought, funeral procession? Turned out the birthday procession with kids holding signs out their car windows. They stir. Oh,
yeah.
We saw one recently where apparently the dad does something with the police department because
that's all that I can think. He did not say that he did something with them, but the number of police officers that showed up, I'm thinking he must have been like a dispatcher.
6 or 7 cruisers showed up
and
sang happy birthday to him over their speakers.
Yeah.
It was terrible and adorable at the same time.
And then they had the sirens going, and all I could think, I mean, it was adorable, and I thought it was great. I was like, there is a mom somewhere with the baby sleeping, and she's about to whoop your backside. Be like, I don't care if you're with the police. You just woke my baby up, so I'm going to fight you in the street.
Groovy says, did you see my Bat Moped post yesterday? No, I missed that. I've not been on anything over the weekend. I was usually trying to get a video out every day, and I skipped yesterday. We're doing projects with the in the shop here with the kids. So, Barbecue 76 says, and Mrs. DeBear, I did get a video out today following the instructions in it, so I can think of what to do. All my followers, all 2 of them, you should do the same. And Silence says, Army of Darkness and Office Space and Titan AE are some good older movies. I thought about Army of Darkness. It might be a bit much for the younger one. Office Space just go over their head. You have to have done time in an office to get that one. Titan AE is not my favorite, I'll be honest.
He's not saying for you.
Princess Jamie says, I watch enough Lifetime to know women can be fierce. Oh my gosh, you're one of them.
That's right.
Oh no, it's Hallmark channel. You and your friend will sit there and watch forever.
I am not a Hallmark Channel person.
She is.
Yes.
The Zaffiel says, fair market is now an utter joke with Blackstone. Yeah. The market is so rigged. BW's Electronics. The first Star Trek movie was basically a remake of the Changeling episode in the original series, a satellite modified by an alien. Yeah, I had to explain to them that the original Star Trek was done in the late 60s, and I think it ran for all of 3 seasons. And then when they brought it back, they were talking about making a TV show, and then they decided just to go straight to a movie. And they had such success with the movies that they then brought back, the next generation. Jim says, ARP bolts are very high end for performance use, and even in your application, the 8mm bolts will survive. I'll have to look into that. I know that people have tried about everything, and they're just at wits' ends. I'm surprised somebody hasn't sued Ram over it. Brian Mack says, dead cat. I know who's sleeping alone tonight. I was making a stock market reference because dead cat bounce. Right? You all got that, right? Come on, back me up.
He's blinking SOS at you.
What?
Grimmoot says, I want to follow up where the boys of yours return the favor by giving you a haircut. I'd pay money to see that.
I'll do that. Of course, my haircut is shaved down so the...
Yeah, but it would be fun for them to do. I mean, they can't really screw it up.
They can't hurt me. They could go after my beard.
Well.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
And Simon says, don't forget the cartoon series, Star Trek, the animated series. Was there really a Star Trek, the animated series?
I have no idea.
Anyway, it's 8:56. We usually only go till 9. So rug tanning tools are ready for the cat comment.
That's right. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking I might just mail myself to you, daughter.
I wish
and then
I
can
had
make
a camera with me because that would have been such a picture. It would have been up on the website today. It was adorable. It was very adorable.
Mm-hmm. Trying to dig his way out. Mm-hmm. Yes, Ed, the old tech guy, we are a cute couple. And he says it makes the stream fun. That's right. And people, I think there's a lot of people that have YouTube channels and live stream that are showing a fake, I don't even need to say fake, a unrealistic portrayal of themselves. That is not the case.
Yeah, no.
Nope.
Let's see here.
Princess Jamie is currently relocating the tool cart out of my closet to the kitchen.
I'm not asking for death. I'm taunting it. It's entirely different. Anyway, that's it for tonight. 8:57. We're calling it. Speaking of dead cats. And Novus, Nick, no, that's not happening. And so anyway, before you leave, if you could, hit the like button on the way out. We really appreciate it. It helps with everything. It helps YouTube's algorithm and helps promote the channel. So we appreciate it. We also appreciate everyone who donated through Super Chats. You guys are amazing. Also, everyone who is a member, like Daughter of Raw, and Novus Nick, and Barbecue 76, and Jim Haynes, and Zaphiel, of course. Antonio. And they are, as I said, like members. It's kind of like Patreon, but it's built into YouTube. Also, don't forget to say thank you to your favorite moderator by going over to their channel and watching one of their videos. Almost all of our moderators are creators in their own right. They've got channels that they're trying to grow as well. So we always believe a rising tide floats all boats. Help support the tool and creator community online by going over, giving one of their videos a like, commenting, and maybe consider subscribing. Anyway, that's all we got for you tonight. I've got to run away before I get murdered. So you all take care. Stay safe. Unlike me, shine on. And God bless. Especially to our people who did not show up tonight, who are not feeling well.
Yes.
And we're concerned. Well, I didn't want to call them out, but sure, you go there. Call them out.
I'm not calling them out.
I know.
Just acknowledging them.
Yes.
I'm concerned, and we are thinking about you and praying for you.
And we also haven't heard from William in a while.
Yes.
So
I hope everyone is staying safe. Socially distance yourself. We super appreciate the community. Have
And Ed, thank you so much for all the blurbs down there.
Yes.
Also, don't forget to check out Joe Smith and Friends for his Friday night, was it After Dark series. That's a great series. You got to check it out. Anyway, you all take care. God bless, and as always, shine on.